1 week ago, Jimmy Shane, driving the U1 Miss Home Street, outlasted the competition in Guntersville, Alabama, and claimed the Southern Cup. It was the first ever H1 Unlimited Driver Invitational Virtual Regatta. It was a come-from-behind win in the final for Mr. Shane in what was an extremely competitive virtual event. Jimmy's going to try and make it 2 in a row today on the team's home waters in Madison, Indiana. But today is extra special and the stakes are higher. Today, the H1 Unlimited Driver Invitational Series presents the American Powerboat Association Gold Cup, the oldest active motorsports trophy in the world. Our drivers are competitive by their very nature, and virtual or not, the APBA Gold Cup is one race every driver wants to win at least once in their career. And speaking of competition, it may be just a little stronger today. Joining the fleet for the first time in 2020 are drivers Jeff Bernard and J. Michael Kelly. Both men missed last week's Southern Cup with prior commitments. All our drivers have been practicing and perfecting their skills. It should be a great afternoon of virtual racing, and someone is going to claim a mighty big prize at the end of the day. Joining me today on the broadcast is a man who needs no introduction to hydroplane fans, especially those in Madison, Indiana. He has been a PA and radio voice of the Madison Regatta off and on for over 30 years, and I personally have had the great pleasure of working with him on 10 APBA Gold Cup broadcasts. From high atop Rikers Ridge, overlooking the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana, it is my great pleasure to welcome to the broadcast booth Mr. Jeff Ayler. Jeff, how are you, my friend?
Brad Luce, good afternoon. It's great to be with you here this afternoon, even though it's virtual in Madison, Indiana. You mentioned Rikers Ridge. We had to evacuate the ridge and come out to Travis Johnson's out in Kent, Indiana for a little bit better internet hookup for the old boy from the ridge. But we're going to have an exciting afternoon of racing, even though it's virtual. We'll go over the qualifying speeds here later. Brad, we've got 8 drivers. 5 of these drivers are within 3 miles per hour of each other. It's going to be a great day of racing virtually for this Gold Cup.
Well, it certainly is. And you sound great. Thanks to Travis for helping out there and getting you hooked up. You sound great. And I can't tell you, my friend, how good it is to hear the voice of Jeff Ayler in my headset. Good to have you on board. Let's talk a little bit about our race format. It is the Gold Cup today, but we're going to run 3 heat sections. You mentioned we have 8 qualified boats and drivers, so we'll have an A and a B section in each one of those sections. There will be 4 boats in each. Our preliminary heats will be 3 laps in length, and our 5-lap final will be a winner-take-all. And as we talk all the time, Jeff, you can't win these races until you get in that final. It's all about gathering points, getting into that final heat, then let it all hang out and claim the big trophy. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too, Brad, and you've mentioned many times when we worked the Detroit Gold Cup, Debbie Gregory, points, points, points. We're condensing this Gold Cup today virtually. We're going to have 3 sections of heats. We'll take the top 5 in points and go on the front row here in Madison with 1 trailer for a 6-boat final later this afternoon. And Brad, my memory bank cannot tell me virtually or for real the last time a 5-boat front row hit the water in Madison for a final heat. It had to have been back sometime in the early 90s.
Yeah, and talking to the drivers today a little bit about this virtual racing and what they're doing. And when we mentioned there were going to be 5 boats on that front row in the final, there was some raised eyebrows because it is virtual racing, but it's very, very realistic. And that tight little corner at each end of the race course that we're going to see today, it's going to rear its head. These guys are going to have to be really careful.
They will, Brad. And this is a touchy game. Travis Johnson allowed me to take his J&Ds out before we came on air here about 1 hour ago. Let me tell you something, my friend. This is difficult. This is not for me. This is, you have to have a real great knack, sense, game ability, real or not. Whoever wins this today is going to do a great job of driving, trust me.
Yeah, they're going to earn it. I know last week after one of the preliminary heat wins, we had a conversation with Jimmy Shane driving the Miss Home Street, and we asked him about driving the virtual boat. He chuckled and said, it's a whole lot harder than driving the real one. This is tough. So they're going to work for it. It's not a matter of just squishing the gas pedal and turning left. You've really got to fly the boat if you're going to go fast. Maybe we can get our qualifying ladder up on the screen here, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Once again, we're going to find our boats are very tightly packed from top to bottom. And surprising to me, Jeff Ayler, our top qualifier is Jeff Bernard driving the U91, the Goodman Real Estate entry. And I say it's surprising because Jeff was not with us a week ago in Guntersville, Alabama. So I kind of thought maybe his learning curve might be behind that of everybody else. But the word on the street is he and the other new driver this week, J. Michael Kelly, have been doing a lot of practicing, even though they were not down in Guntersville. There we've got the ladder in front of us, and you see Jeff Bernard, the only driver to top 155 miles an hour, going at 155.006. Looks like Kelly came in fourth at 153.7. And just like it is in real racing, Jeff, the drivers and the boats and the teams earn points for their qualifying speed. 100 points to the fastest qualifier, 80 points for second fastest, and on down from there. And those points do count toward getting those boats into the final.
Great qualifying, a phenomenal lap by Bernard at the 155.006. Taylor Evans, Brad, we're used to saying he's the crew chief of the bucket list racing and real hydroplane racing. But boy, what a lap by Taylor in the 99.9 bucket list Miss Rock at 154.287. And not surprisingly, Jimmy Shane, the native of Habit of Grace, Maryland, now resides in Maple Valley, Washington. Third quick in the home street at 154.077. J. Michael was fourth, as you mentioned, at 153.748. Jamie Nielsen, a good lap in the J&Ds at 152.769 miles per hour. So good qualifying, nice heat alignments. And Brad, when we get a moment, we can give the draws for 1A and 1B.
And we'll get to those draws in just a moment. I want to first, before we do that, talk a little bit about our sponsors, because as we all know, without them, this racing does not happen. Would like to thank the fine folks at Jesse's Stitches. Jesse Stitches has been doing custom embroidery and much more in Snohomish, Washington since 1990. Also like to thank Atomic Screen Printing in the Tri-Cities of Washington. They have been a leading Northwest producer of high-quality screen-printed and embroidered products since 1998. And we talked about the fact this is the Gold Cup, Jeff. It is the APBA Gold Cup, and H1 Unlimited is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association, the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903 and headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association, head on over to www.apba.org. That's apba.org. And now, Jeff Ayler, let's get to those heat draws. And doing the honors for us today is Indiana State Representative Randy Fry. He's going to be joined by the mayor of Madison, Indiana, Bob Courtney, and the Madison Regatta president, Matt True. Guys, take it away. Let's get our draws for Heat 1A and 1B.
Welcome to a very odd 2020 race season in Madison, Indiana. It's been quite a difficult week for us to get through. It's very unusual, and I guess this is what it feels like for people who don't come to regattas. So what we are doing today is drawing for Heat 1A and 1B for the E-Racing League today. So go Miss Madison home street. And with us is the Mayor of Madison and State Representative Randy Fry, who's the Motorsports Caucus Chairman for Indiana. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Mayor and Representative Fry, let them do the heat draw, and introduce themselves and give a little talk about what's going on here this weekend.
Hello, Bob Courtney, Madison's Mayor. Proud to be here today to represent the city of Madison, keep the tradition of the regatta alive. I've been on the banks of the Ohio both times that Miss Madison won the Gold Cup. I'm happy to be here today to help State Representative Randy Fry select the teams that would be racing today.
Good morning. This is an honor for me to be here as Chairman of Motorsports Caucus at the Indiana General Assembly. Also a tremendous racing fan and fan of the Madison Regatta. I haven't missed one in the last 4 years. This would be 5, although this one's a little different. So love it. Can't wait till 2021 regatta, and so glad to be here as a part of the draw.
Let's select the teams. U440. U9, D9 and 9. U12. And U98. Now for U1B. U11. U91. U1. And U7. Good luck, teams.
Good luck.
Thanks for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed the E-Racing League today, and go Jimmy Shane and the Home Street Miss Madison. And
Well, thank you very much, Matt True, the Madison Regatta president. Obviously, there was some dignitaries from the state of Indiana, the Madison mayor, and the Indiana state representative. Good to have them on board and their support today. Jeff Ayler, I think we have set the stage about as well as we can. There's only one thing left to do. And as I like to say when we're racing, let's get this party started. We are ready for our Heat 1A. And why don't you take a moment and re-go through the draw that we just saw and tell us who we're going to see on the water in our Heat 1A.
Thank you, Brad Luce. And Heat 1A and 1B, we want to remember two Madison residents that were so synonymous with hydroplane racing. Heat 1A will be in the memory of Gene Johnson. Gene just passed away in early June. Gene's husband is David Johnson, of course, the liaison with the 5 to the 5 vintage group here in Madison. And an unlimited 1B, Brad, will have that in the memory of Jack Lim. Jack passed away in May, and Jack Lim was the nuts and bolts of the Madison Regatta for a number of years in all facets. And we just want to remember these two people today. Even though it's virtual, our thoughts and prayers go out to both families, and we just wanted to think about them today when we go racing for this Gold Cup.
Absolutely, Jeff Ayler. Great commentary right there. And you know for sure that both Gene and Jack, they're probably standing side by side up above, looking down, saying, come on, guys, let's get this race underway. They're anxious. We're all anxious. It's the 2020 APBA Gold Cup. I'm ready, Jeff. How about you?
Oh, I am, Brad. I know Jean well enough. She wants me to give it a crank 'em up when we come up to 1A for her. 1A will be the 12. That is the Graham Trucking with J. Michael Kelly. The 98 Graham Trucking American Dream with Corey Peabody. The 99.9 Bucket List Miss Rock, Taylor Evans driving. And the 440 Bucket List Racing with Aaron Salmon. That's the boats in 1A in memory of Gene Johnson. Heat 1B in memory of Jack Lim will include the number 1 Home Street Jimmy Shane, the 7 Spirit of Detroit Nick Kish, the 11 J&D's Jamie Nielsen, and the 91, your top qualifier here today for the Gold Cup, Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate. Brad, that's the second Madison entry, and what a dynamite paint scheme on this gold and black number 91 of John Goodman sponsoring Miss Madison Inc. I understand realistically he's chomping at the bit. He wants COVID-19 to go away. He wants to go real racing.
I know he does. We all do. And these drivers certainly echo that same sentiment. You talked about Heat 1A, the 4 boats you went down, the 12, 98, 99.9, and the 440. Looks to me like it's Graham Trucking versus Team Orange here. We got the 2 Graham Trucking boats and the 2 bucket list boats coming out here in our first heat of the 2020 APBA Gold Cup. Jeff Ayler, we are inside the 5-minute period for our first heat of racing here on the Ohio River, on the banks of the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana, as it flows between the states of Indiana and Kentucky. There come our boats away from the dock. I see Corey Peabody there in the foreground. There goes the red and black of J. Michael Kelly. Got the screen right there on the bucket list, Miss Rock, Taylor Evans. I'll tell you what, Jeff Ayler, this Taylor Evans, you talked about him being a crew chief on the real boat. He showed us last week he can drive, and this thing is fast. Keep an eye on that orange and black bucket list, Miss Rock, the 99.9.
Great wrench with the real hydroplanes, doing a great job here driving virtually. Brad, this is the 2-mile version here in Madison, which is west of the Milton-Madison Bridge, the same course we ran here last year for the 2019 APBA Gold Cup. Speaking with Tate Meyer earlier, the safety zones, you can't go inside turn 1 or turn 2 prior to the start. You can cut through the infield, back chute, front chute to back chute, anywhere on the race course, because virtually there's no patrol boats in the infield.
Yep. Coming up on 3 minutes until the start. You're riding along right there with Corey Peabody. That is the U98, the red, white, and blue Graham Trucking American Dream. Corey Peabody makes his home in Kent, Washington. It's about 5 miles up the street from where I am right here now. The other Graham Trucking entry is right there on your screen, the predominantly red trimmed in black and silver. That's the U12 driven by J. Michael Kelly. J. Michael Kelly is south of me about 15 miles down in Bonnie Lake, Washington. It's his first heat of the year right now in our Driver Invitational Series. Be anxious to see how he handles things. You were talking about the race course here, Jeff, and where it is. It can get confusing possibly for some of our fans to know which part of the race course the boats are on, whether they are on the front stretch or the back stretch, because there's shoreline on either side. The easy way to tell that apart is if you can't see the bridge up ahead of you, look to the right. If you can see the cranes on the shoreline, you are on the front straightaway. And there you're looking at Aaron Salmon driving the Bucket List Racing 2. That is the U440. You can tell that boat easily from that being driven by Taylor Evans. Taylor's boat's got a lot of black on the decks above the sponsons, where there, as you see, Aaron Salmon's boat is predominantly orange from stem to stern. Inside 3 minutes now, Jeff Ayler, 3 minutes to the start of our Heat 1A.
Brad, you might have to take the clock count down. Ours is kind of on stagnant here. We see J. Michael Kelly already trolling on the back straightaway, and the Graham Trucking up in front of him are the
2 minutes
bucket list entries. Thank you, Brad. 2 minutes until the start. The boat toward the inside, that is the Bucket List Miss Rock.
Yep.
With Taylor Evans, and flanked to his outside is Aaron Salmon in the bucket list. And Brad, I saw you earlier this year with the Guntersville Driver Invitational and the virtual event. There is trolling allowed in virtual racing.
Yeah, we don't have a way to monitor 80 miles an hour on these boats, and so we default back to the 1 minute score-up buoy, and thank you for bringing that up. These guys are going slow. That is legal to go as slow as they want, to troll, as you want to call it. But the rule now that comes into play is these boats cannot go past the exit buoy of turn 1. There's the entrance pin right there. They can't go past that exit buoy before 1 minute, and we're 3 seconds, 2, 1, mark. 1 minute, Jeff.
Thank you, Brad. 1 minute period has come and gone. You saw from the aerial, everyone was well behind the 1 minute pin, the exit pin at turn number 1, this virtual Madison race course. Brad Luce, we're going to try to do it like Detroit when we've done it real. Bring them up into turn 2.
Thank you very much, Jeff Ayler. I thought for a minute, and indeed we did, I thought J. Michael Kelly was going to try and leapfrog the two orange boats, and he has done it. So J. Michael Kelly now is sitting in lane number 1, right at the bottom of your screen as he just nudges past the entrance pin to turn 2. Lane number 2 right now is back a little bit. It's the 99.9 with Taylor Evans. Lane 3 will be Aaron Salmon, and on the outside, it's going to be Corey Peabody in the U98 Graham Trucking American Dream. So Kelly, in his first heat of racing here in the Driver Invitational Series, was able to secure lane 1. We're inside 5 seconds. 2, 1, mark, Jeff.
Brad, we're racing in Unlimited 1A in memory of Gene Johnson. J. Michael Kelly leads him across the start-finish line buoy in first, and Graham Trucking on his outside. Aaron Salmon in Bucket List Racing. As we go to the aerial in turn number 1, it's Kelly in front. Now Taylor Evans side by side with Salmon. Brad, we come off the corner. It's JMK in front, but a good duel for second.
There's a great duel going on in second place, but they're about a rooster tail behind our leader, J. Michael Kelly. There's the two orange boats, Salmon on the outside as he goes past teammate Taylor Evans, driving the Bucket List Miss Rock. They're on the first of 3 times around the course, and they're entering the top end. Our leader is already coming down to you, Jeff Ayler. It's J. Michael Kelly.
The first of 3 times around here in the Gene Johnson Memorial Unlimited 1A, J. Michael Kelly has a knack for starting in lane number 1. Real, does it well virtually as well, leads it here in Unlimited 1A. Second place is Taylor Evans in the Bucket List Miss Rock. Aaron Salmon in the 3rd position, and trailing is Corey Peabody. Off the turn, Brad, we're halfway through it. It's JMK in front.
Yeah, and JMK is opening up water, and boy, Taylor Evans was flying the 99.9 as he came off the lower corner. It's rough down there on the real race course. It's rough on this virtual one also when you come off of that lower corner. Top end of the race course here on the second of 3 times around. J. Michael Kelly has looked extremely impressive. Bring him down to put 2 in the books, Jeff.
White flag displayed, 2 down and 1 more to go as we look above the Graham Trucking as J. Michael Kelly thunders down the Indiana shoreline. We'll see the yellow buoy to his left. That is the entrance pin. He sees it, cranks the 12 to the left. Comfortable lead. You see him working the canard wing, working through the wake activity. Brad, off the turn, it's all JMK looking for 400 here to begin the day.
You said it was all about points, and indeed it is, and he is sniffing 400 of them. He, J. Michael Kelly, and you notice he's driving out to about lane 3, maybe 4. He doesn't want to get close to those buoys at all and risk hitting one and lose his position. Bring home our winner in Heat 1A, Jeff Ayler. It's J. Michael Kelly.
Last dash to the finish, works the canard wing, goes over some wake activity. Here's your winner of Unlimited 1A in memory of Gene Johnson, J. Michael Kelly and Graham Trucking. Second place will go to Taylor Evans in the Bucket List Miss Rock. Third position will go to Aaron Salmon in the 440 Bucket List Racing. And Corey Peabody comes across the finish line in the red, white, and blue Graham Trucking American Dream. So Brad, 1 through 4, Kelly in front, followed by Evans, then Salmon and Peabody. We're off and running at the 2020 Gold Cup in Madison virtually.
That was a great shot we had of J. Michael bringing the boat off the top end of the race course, coming down to pick up the checkered flag. And just like you would see in real racing, he swung way wide and gave a great look to the fans as he came by to pick up that checkered flag on the judges' stand. Great racing in our first heat of racing. It was good, and I'm a little bit surprised. I was not maybe expecting Mike to come out and be that strong in his first heat of competition, Jeff Ayler, but clearly, I said it at the beginning in the intro, these guys are very, very competitive, and if they're going to do something like this, they're going to practice and make sure they're darn good at it. And I think we've got Mike with us in the booth now. Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you guys. You got me?
Mike,
Nope.
are you there?
Yeah, you got me?
There we go. All right. So J. Michael Kelly, you got Brad Luce and Jeff Ayler here. And I was just telling Mr. Ayler that you surprised me a little bit. I'm not sure that I expected you to come out and be that dominant right out of the box. clearly, Mr. Kelly, although you missed last week's race in Guntersville, you've been doing some practicing, my friend.
Yeah, you're surprised. I'm surprised. I think I've been practicing for about 3-4 days with these guys. The guys have been helping quite a bit, and definitely having DJ on my radio has helped out a lot too.
Jeff Ayler, you got something you'd like to ask the young man? I'm pretty impressed.
Well, Jay Michael, Jeff Ayler here. Congratulations on this 1A in memory of Gene Johnson. I wasn't surprised. You're tenacious. You want to win 400 points, virtual or real. You just take them to the wood.
Yeah, no, it's it doesn't matter what kind of racing we're doing. I'm just glad we're out there doing something. This is pretty exciting. I've been kind of watching from the sidelines, and to actually get to do it and go compete and stuff. It's been fun. I'm glad these guys came up with this, because it's been a blast. And I actually was contemplating on whether I was going to drive or try to get my kid to drive for me.
and Jay Michael, speaking of your children, I just love the photo on Facebook last week from Burley. Your youngest, Asher, is becoming a ladies' man already, holding hands with Blakely Bernard, competitors with Jeff on the water. Now Asher's holding hands with Blakely. It was really cute.
Yeah, no, both boys. So yeah, Jeff might have something to worry about later on. But no, it's all family and good boat racing friends and stuff. We had a blast last weekend in Burley. We missed being able to do this online stuff. So glad we can do it this weekend.
Well, Mike, it's all about getting points and getting into the final. You just took a big step with 400 first place points. Congratulations. We will look forward to talking to you down the line and later on in the day, my friend. Good start to the weekend.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Well, there we go. J. Michael Kelly, and you called it during the race, Jeff Ayler, exactly like you see it on the water when it's real. The young man has a knack for getting that red boat into lane one.
And Brad, you mentioned Taylor Evans. He was our second fastest qualifier. Not the best start for Taylor in 1A, but you can see the savviness that he has as a driver here virtually. Don't count out that 99.9 bucket list Miss Rock. They've got the 300. They'll look to the draw for the second section. The 99.9 in my book coming into this after qualifying, they're going to be tough. They're going to be hard to beat.
They're going to be very hard to beat. And if you watch the final heat in Guntersville from a week ago, they were leading that final heat before things went south, and we had a collision up at the top end of the race course that unfortunately took them out of that race. They are going to be reckoned with before this day is over. So we're just about ready to go racing here in our Heat 1B, Jeff Ayler. We're inside 10 seconds to the 5-minute mark, and we'll get our boats back out on the water again. We are 2 seconds, 1 mark. 5 minutes. 5 minutes to our Heat 1B. Jeff Ayler, who we got coming out in this one?
Heat 1B is in the memory of Jack Lim. First out is the Home Street Blue and White, Jimmy Shane, and the U1 Miss Home Street, followed by the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange, Jamie Nielsen driving the number 11 J&Ds. You see right there on the screen, beautiful boat in person and also virtually. Also coming out will be our top qualifier, the gold and black. There he is right there, Jeff Bernard out of Kent, Washington, your top qualifier at 155.006 miles per hour. And our last boat to leave the dock is the dominant red with the blue and white striping down each side of the craft on the deck. That is the U7 Spirit of Detroit, Nick Kish, driving here this afternoon. Nick hails from Detroit. Brad, we're 3 minutes and 55 seconds until the start. Shane, Nielsen, and Bernard. Nick's a little bit new at this. The three that drive for real could be the three to watch in here in 1B.
Yeah, you mentioned Nick Kish out of Detroit. Unfortunately, we had to scratch Bert Henderson as we got close to the race this weekend. Bert, unfortunately, had a commitment and couldn't join us. We wish he was here. He did a great job driving a week ago down in Guntersville. He will be with us on down the road further on the circuit. But today it's Nick Kish, and you mentioned it, out of Detroit, driving the Spirit of Detroit. And we're in that milling period, coming up on 3 minutes until the start. There you see on the inside there, you mentioned it, the U11, the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange. Jamie Nielsen, this boat was really, really fast last week as well, and he was right there in the mix during the first lap of the final heat. Unfortunately, was involved in that little mishap we had. Keep an eye on Mr. Nielsen, and you see Jimmy Shane, he's going very slowly down that front straightaway. Jimmy saw what J. Michael just did on the inside lane. I think Jimmy wants to put it in there as well.
And Brad, for our fans just joining us online via YouTube with our H1 Unlimited Driver Invitational Virtual APBA Gold Cup. 2-mile course here in Madison. The preliminary heats are 3 laps. The winner take all final later today is a 5-lapper. Brad, you describe it best. You can troll during the milling period, but for our fans that have just joined us, where do you have to have that lane established on this virtual Madison track?
Well, you can't cross that exit pin of turn number 1 before the 1 minute mark, but you can still change lanes after that. You must establish your lane at the entrance pin to turn 2. And that's what we saw in the previous heat when they went around the 1 minute buoy last time. J. Michael Kelly was out in lane number 3, but he got legal overlap on the 2 orange boats to his left and was able to move into lane number 1. He did so before they got to the entrance pin to the corner, and that's where you officially establish your lane. Inside 2 minutes, Jeff, and Mr. Kish is running hard while we got a couple of trollers, and it looks like Jamie just decided he's had enough of the trolling. He's going to throw a loop in.
Jamie Nielsen, as you see from above, throwing the loop in, as Brad mentioned, going over some wakes, and lots of activity here on this 2-mile track in Madison. The virtual view, Unlimited 1B. In the memory of Jack Lim. Brad, we're 110 until the start. We're above turn number 1 as we're 3, 2, 1 mark. Brad, everyone was legal behind that 1 minute pin. Bring them up into turn number 2. Set the lanes.
In lane number 1, it's the 91, the Goodman Real Estate. Jeff Bernard, he was able to take it away from Jimmy Shane and hang on to it. Shane is in the 2 lane. That is the blue and white boat just behind him there as they go up the backstretch. Then it is going to be Jamie Nielsen in lane number 3 driving the U11, the J&Ds, and it will be Nick Kish in the red trimmed in blue and white U7 that will trail the field up the backstretch. They are into this upper corner. We are inside 20 seconds until the starts. The guys ran pretty hard up that backstretch, and they were having to do so to protect their lane, but they were able to protect it, especially Jeff Bernard was able to protect the inside lane. It is Bernard in 1, it is Shane in 2, it's Nielsen in 3, and on the outside is Kish. Bring him down, Jeff.
Here we're coming to the line here for Unlimited 1B in memory of Jack Lim. They crossed the start-finish line, and we'll see if the start was good, but Jimmy Shane leads them in turn number 1. In Miss Home Street, Jeff Bernard to his inside in the Goodman Real Estate. The Madison boats battling 1-2 here in Unlimited 1B. Bernard tightens it up. Shane on his hip, Brad off the corner. They're deck to deck.
They are side by side coming off that corner. Look at that, Madison, Indiana. You've got to love this. The 2 boats owned by the citizen of Madison, Indiana are leading in our Heat 1B up the backstretch. Bernard showing some really good shoot speed there. He opened up about 3 boat lengths on Jimmy Shane after coming off the lower corner, virtually tied together. Right now, they come down to complete lap number 1. I think we're hearing that we had 4 gun jumpers, Jeff.
Brad, I just heard that from Tate over the radio. All 4 boats jumped the gun here in Unlimited 1B in memory of Jack Lim. So the positions on the track they are running are correct. And Jeff Bernard showing the short way around in the Goodman Real Estate. Shane in 2nd, Nielsen in 3rd. Kish, and Nick hooked down here, turned her sideways. He's trying to refire. Brad, we're halfway through it. It's all Bernard in front.
It is all Jeff Bernard out front driving that 91, the Goodman Real Estate. There is something to be said about our top qualifier. He means business. Jeff Bernard, he said see you later to his teammate Jimmy Shane. He is off the exit pin and will come down and put lap number 2 in the books. With the gun jumping, our boats will go 4 times around the race course, so we're halfway through it. Bernard's still the leader, Jeff.
Thank you, Brad Luce. Halfway through Unlimited 1B in memory of Jack Lim. All 4 boats jumped the gun, but Brad Luce, it's been all Jeff Bernard out in front in that gold and black Goodman Real Estate. Exits the turn up the Trimble County, Kentucky shoreline of the Ohio River. Bernard in front, Shane back at tail in second.
Boy, good looking boat ride, too. Look at Jeff Bernard handle that race boat. He's solid as a rock. He's got the nose up on it, pile in the air underneath it, and he's really, really got a lot of shoot speed. Don't believe me? Ask Jimmy Shane, because he can't catch him. Got a bit of a parade going on now as you're looking at Jamie Nielsen as he enters the top end of the race course. Jeff Bernard has already passed you, Jeff. He's down to the bottom end already. He's got a big lead.
3 complete for Bernard. Everybody penalized a lap for the gun jump on all 4 of our starters, but Jeff Bernard shown the short way around. Already in turn number 1, keeping it snug to the pins. Bernard in front. Shane remains in second. Nielsen in third. Kish in fourth. Brad, a half a lap to go for Bernard to score 400.
Boy, they've got to be happy there in Madison, Indiana. All their 2 drivers, Jimmy Shane and Jeff Bernard, have to do is negotiate the top end of the race course one more time, stay clean, don't hit a buoy, and come down and pick 400 and 300 points up respectively. Bring home our winner of our Heat 1B in memory of Jack Lim. Jeff, bring him down.
Pit area to the right. There's the start-finish line buoy. Your winner of Unlimited 1B in memory of Jack Lim, Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate. Jimmy Shane will come across in second position in the U1 Miss Home Street. Third position will go to Jamie Nielsen in the number 11 J&D's. Looking for Nick Kish. Okay, thank you, Tate. Nick Kish had a problem. We saw that earlier in the heat, had some trouble in turn number 1 of the wake activity. So we'll give Nick Kish an unfortunate did not finish here in Unlimited 1B in memory of Jack Lim. And Brad Bernard, the top qualifier, 400 points here in 1B. The boat is gold. They're looking for gold later today.
They certainly are, and they sent a message, as we like to talk many times at the real races. They just sent a message up and down pit row. I may not have been in Guntersville, but I was practicing at home, and I know how to handle this thing. And oh, by the way, it's a rocket ship. That was really, really impressive, especially after what we saw a week ago in Guntersville with Jimmy Shane and how he was able to dominate the field occasionally. It was very good racing, but that boat showed a ton of speed. Jeff Bernard just left him in the dust there. There was a pretty strong message sent from Jeff Bernard. But that's not the heat he really wants to win. As you said, it's a gold boat. They're chasing gold. What he wants to do is get that first place finish in the final. So hopefully we'll get an opportunity to get our Jeff Bernard up here in the announcer's booth and get a word with the young man. He's got to feel pretty good. So look at that, Jeff. Our first 2 heats of racing today were won by the 2 guys who skipped last week's event. And we thought, or at least I did, that maybe they wouldn't yet be quite up to speed with how to do this. Boy, was I wrong. They were very strong, both of them.
I know these 2 well enough, Bernard and Kelly. Practice, practice, practice. It showed in 1A and 1B, and wow, do you see what I see? A little bit of the real Madison, Indiana.
There it is.
The right-hand side of our screen there. That is really neat.
They do a good job here. And Madison has worked very hard to roll out the red and, if not gold, carpet here for our APBA Gold Cup competition. And I think we maybe just got Jeff Bernard joining us here in the tower. Jeff, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Jeff, it's Brad Luce, and you got Jeff Ayler here. And I'll admit, I thought you and JMK maybe were not going to have quite the feel for the boats that the other guys did, because you were in Burley, Idaho a week ago and maybe not practicing as much, but clearly you have spent some time learning how to drive this thing. The boat was a rocket.
Yeah, well, I got lucky when I was going to do the spotting for Kelsey for Madison. About a week before that is when I purchased all my stuff. So the E-League guys were practicing Madison all up there. So the week leading up to that, so I ran with them every night, and made a lot of good friends on the Discord. Been hanging out with all the E-League guys. They're all great people. They've helped me out a lot, and we're running good. A little early on the start there. I was little off my time mark. I think I just got to my mark a little earlier than I anticipated. I burped it, and it still wasn't enough. But it's so hard when you hear the other boats going a lot faster, and you being in lane one, you want to get down there. So I went. We were a little early, but fortunately, everybody else was early. So good race for the Goodman Real Estates, and want to thank Atomic Screen Printing and Jesse Stitches for sponsoring this. I'm having a blast.
Well, that was going to be my next question. If you're having fun, so you already answered that one. And before I turn it over to Jeff Ayler, quick question. Were you surprised you were able to drive away from your teammate, Jimmy Shane, as strongly as you did?
Well, like I said, I think I got a little bit more an advantage than everybody else right now because I've spent so much time on here that week with the E-League guys, and it really helped me. And then I work weird hours at work, so during the week it's hard to get on when there's people, but I try anytime I see somebody on the server when I'm home, I try to get on and during the weekend run with these guys. But I was fortunate enough to get in a different league race right after that last Madison race with the E-League guys, and ran a full race and ended up second in their league. So I feel pretty good. It don't matter if you're 2 miles an hour faster than everybody else in this game. It's all about making a good start, getting lane position. I've ran a lot with Jay Michael, and if he gets lane one and he hits a start, I can't drive around him no matter how fast I am. So there's a lot of strategy before the heat, and it's pretty realistic. It's really fun.
It's very good. It was certainly a lot of fun to watch. Jeff Ayler, you got a question for the young man?
I sure do. Jeff, congratulations. Word on the street here in Madison, your sponsor, John Goodman, Goodman Real Estate, quite the gentleman, but I understand quite the competitor, virtual or real. I understand this man wants to win.
Yeah, that's what I understand too. And it's really neat that we got a sponsor like him. Him and Mark Mason, the CEO of Home Street, are really good friends, and that's kind of how he got into boat racing. So it's pretty cool. You got Jimmy and I in the cockpit, good friends, and our sponsors are good friends. So everybody wants to win. So it should be fun whenever we get a chance to go actually race. But virtual racing, it's just as competitive for us. And I also got to thank Scott Przybylski. He's doing my spotting today, so I'm a little bit lucky. I got the guy that designed the game in my ears.
that never hurts. That never hurts. Well, Jeff, we'll let you get ready for our draw for our second set of heats here, but you're off to a good start. 100 points for qualifying, 400 points for a Heat 1B victory. Congratulations. Good start to the day.
Thank you.
Jeff Bernard, apparently he spent a lot of time behind the wheel, Jeff Ayler. I was worried that he hadn't spent enough. Apparently he's been working pretty hard at it.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised. Let me take a moment here, and you heard Jeff make mention there of a couple of our sponsors. I'd like to echo that sentiment as well. He mentioned Atomic Screen Printing. They are in the Tri-Cities of Washington. They are a leading Northwest producer of high-quality screen-printed and embroidered products, have been doing so since 1998. And Jesse's Stitches in Snohomish, Washington, been doing custom embroidery themselves and much more since 1990. Would also like to thank a couple of regatta sponsors here. Like to thank the fine folks at Supershine, Kendall and Jeremy, the owners there locally in Madison, Indiana, stepping up and helping us out this weekend with our APBA Gold Cup. And thanks to them for their help and support. And I think we're ready now to go to our heat draws for Heat 2A and 2B. Doing the honors of the drawing today for Heat 2 will be Dave White, the director of H1 Unlimited Rescue. Dave, take it away.
Hi, I'm Dave White, Director of Rescue for H1 Unlimited. I'm here to draw for the Drivers Invitational E-League heat races. Are you ready? So is this 1A? 2A. 2A is going to be the U1. U12. .440. And the next one, U7. And this is for the next race, right? 2B,
A.
1A.
No, 2A.
2A.
2B. No, this is 2A.
U99.9. U91. U11. And the U98. Good luck, everyone. Be safe.
Thank you very much, Dave White, for doing the honors there and drawing out our boats for heats 2A and 2B. It is the 2020 APBA Gold Cup. We are on the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana. And before we run down again the boats in heats 2A and 2B, let's get a word from another of our sponsors, the good folks at Nucor Tubular Products.
Nucor of Madison hopes you're enjoying the summer season by kicking it off with a little e-racing, hosted on the virtual Madison Regatta race site. Even though the pandemic has caused a change of plans for us, Nucor of Madison has never felt more proud to be a sponsor of the Madison Regatta. We know our outstanding relationship will remain strong for years to come and grow into a lifelong partnership. Visit our website, nucor.com, today for job openings and to become a member of the Nucor team. Have a great holiday weekend and enjoy the virtual races from your friends at Nucor of Madison.
All right. Thank you very much to Nucor Tubular Products for their participation in this weekend's racing. And we're getting ready to go again, Jeff Ayler. It's heats 2A and 2B. It is the second opportunity for all of our race teams to gather points. You talked about it earlier. It's all about gathering points and getting on to that front row of the final heat because it's a winner-take-all final at that point. So get as many points as you can throughout the preliminaries and then let it all hang out in the final. I think you've got our boats. Why don't you review them with our fans? Who's going to come out in our heat 2A?
Heat 2A for the virtual APBA Gold Cup here in Madison. The drivers participating in 2A will be Jimmy Shane in boat number 1, Nick Kish in craft number 7, J. Michael Kelly in number 12, and on the fourth boat in 2A, the 440 of Aaron Salmon. Unlimited 2B, the drivers participating are the 11, Jamie Nielsen, Jeff Bernard, perfect on the weekend in the 91, Corey Peabody in craft 98, and Taylor Evans in the 99.9. Brad, these are evenly matched. You look at 2A, Shane and Kelly will go to battle. This 2B, you've got Nielsen in here, Bernard, who's perfect so far today. But I like this Taylor Evans in this bucket list Miss Rock. We've said Taylor's name many a times as the crew chief for the bucket list racing. He gets the virtual drive here with that new toy that Sharon and Kelly Stockland have out in the Pacific Northwest. This is the virtual bucket list Miss Rock. And Brad, the real boat I saw on Facebook, it's already decked out in that bucket list orange. I look for that one to be a fast sled when it takes to the water for real.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a beautiful boat, that Tennessee orange that they use there on the bucket list racing team boats. And did you notice the little tail section on the cowling? They had added that little tail back there that we used to see on the Elstrom Elam Plus. Thought it was interesting. It was there. But let's look at 2A here. You mentioned Kelly, Shane, and Salmon. The guy who's got the the tough one here is Nick Kish. Nick came out of our first set of racing with 0 points. So he's got a tall order here, but Nick Kish, he needs points and he needs a lot of them.
Well, Brad, when we've worked the APBA Gold Cup in Detroit many times, we talk about the points. Nick Kish right now with only 30 points, and that was through qualifying. No doubt, must-win situation here for Nick Kish in the Spirit of Detroit here in the second heat, and see how the draws fare out for the third section. A guy that I think would like to really score well here, a second at best, would be Aaron Salmon. Right now, I've got him sixth on the list with 265 points. Shane and Kelly, first or second, either or, they'll take that and go to the third round. So boats in here that need points and need them bad is Kish and Salmon in 2A.
You need points, you draw Kelly and Shane. That's always a tall order. I think we are about ready to go here. We are 5 seconds away from our 5-minute mark. We're 2 seconds, 1 mark. 5 minutes to our Heat 2A.
Crank them up.
There we go. Heat 2A of the 2020 APBA Gold Cup. We are coming to you from Madison, Indiana on the Ohio River. We are doing so virtually, but I'll tell you what, we're having an awful lot of fun, whether it's virtual or not. The racing has been good. I expect it to be no different here in our Heat 2A. You mentioned J. Michael Kelly and Jimmy Shane, each a first or a second would be great for either of them, but you know these two guys as well as I do. They only know one position, and it's out front and leading, and that's what they're going to fight for. You can count on it.
You know, Brad, my points total right now, Jimmy Shane's actually fourth on the list with 370. So I'm sure he would like to get 400 or 300 here to keep in that top 4. But we got to remember, and it just hit me, you got to be in the top 5, because the top 5 in points will be on the front row for the final with one trailer here in Madison, virtually for the Gold Cup.
And we say it every time, so I guess we are obliged to say it here. Yes, boats have won from the trailer position. It's a long, long set of odds. I wouldn't bet on it. So you've got to get on that front row. Looking at Nick Kish there, driving the 7, the Spirit of Detroit. Nick out of Detroit. He needs definitely to score some points here in this one. You got the 2 red boats, the Graham Trucking and the Spirit of Detroit. There is the 12, the Graham Trucking. It is bright red, but it is trimmed in a lot of black and silver. That's how you can tell them apart. The boat driven by Nick Kish is predominantly red with some blue and white striping on the decks. We'll do our best to help you identify him. But there's J. Michael Kelly driving the 12, and there was Aaron Salmon driving the Bucket List Racing 2. That Tennessee Orange looks really good on the water, Jeff Ayler. It always has.
It sure does. And Brad, by my watch, it looks like the 3-minute period is come and gone. We're down to the 2-minute 55-second mark here for Unlimited 2A at the Gold Cup in Madison, Indiana, of course, virtually. And Brad Luce, for our viewers just tuning us in on YouTube through H1 Unlimited, the preliminary heats are 3 laps. Final heat later today will be 5 laps. We're condensing the format here this afternoon. We'll only have 3 heat sections of races, unlike 4 for the real Gold Cup, and then we'll go right into the finals. So this is critical here for Kish and Salmon to score well. You see Jimmy Shane, he's already starting to troll in the home street, and then you see Nick Kish well to his outside powering up. Now, this guy right here in this black and red boat, he knows how to troll. He's one of the masters at it. J. Michael Kelly, he does it in fine fashion.
2 minutes until the start of our Heat 2A. You mentioned our fans that are watching online on the YouTube channel. We're glad to have you with us, and if you have a moment, take a moment and let us know from where you are watching. And if you've got one of those watch parties going on, let us know how many people you got, where you are, and how you're enjoying the racing today. We'd love to hear from you. I know of a good watch party that's going on today in Edmond, Oklahoma. Jeff Ayler got a good group of about 10 people there watching the boat racing today. Look at Jimmy Shane. He's just sitting there barely moving. He's just short of the entrance pin to the lower corner. He wants that inside lane, but he knows that guy named Kelly is going to try and do something to get it away from him. Shane picks up the speed a little bit. We're still 10 seconds away from the 1 minute mark. We are 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, mark. And it looks like they're going to come off the corner with Shane on the inside. But Kelly had boat speed and came up between the two of them. Looked to see if JMK does the leapfrog and moves into lane 1. He did it. Jeff Ayler, another great move from J. Michael Kelly to get lane 1.
Brad, real quick, before the 1 minute period, I saw JMK pick up speed. He looped through the infield. He came back around. Textbook leapfrog maneuver there. Set the lanes in turn 2.
Wow, you look at him right there. It's J. Michael Kelly driving a 12, the Graham Trucking. He's in lane 1. Remember now, they have passed the entrance pin to turn 2, so those lanes are established. Can't change them now. Kelly's in 1, Shane is in 2, Salmon is in 3, and it's going to be Kish on the outside. Bring him down to the start-finish line, Jeff Ayler. It's Heat 2A.
Kelly in 1, Shane in 2, Salmon in 3, Kish flying on the outside. 1 mark as we're racing in Unlimited 2A here in Madison at the virtual APBA Gold Cup. I believe the start was good as they fly into turn number 1. Jimmy Shane in front in Home Street. Shane, wild looking turn there. Kelly coming up on the inside. Brad, they come off the corner. It's Kelly and Shane side by side.
They are coming down very close together. It is Shane out front by about 2 boat lengths, but he's got Kelly in his left side rear view mirror. When they hit the start-finish line, Kelly was on the inside, but he didn't have the boat speed. He trailed the field getting into that first turn, and you see how difficult that is becoming for him. Shane's going to try and hold him in tight there. It's about a 2.5 boat length lead for Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street, but he's got Kelly in that left side mirror, Jeff.
We'll come down to complete lap number 1. What a camera angle from the infield, following him all the way around. It's Shane in front and Kelly back. There he is, Brad, tucked in there, back about a boat length. Shane in front, Kelly in second to the aerial in turn number 1. Shane slides out. Kelly tightens it up. They're side by side off the corner and they touched.
Boy, Jimmy Shane flew the home street, and he had to pull his foot a little bit, and that allowed JMK to pull right up alongside of him. They are dead even, Jeff, halfway up the backstretch here on the second of 3 times around the race course. Outstanding racing here in our second set of preliminary heats between two of us. They have come together, and there's a collision between the 12 of J. Michael Kelly and the Graham Trucking and Jimmy Shane in the home street. Jeff Call, our new leader, across the line.
After the collision in turn number 2 between Kelly and Shane, your leader is Aaron Salmon in the Bucket List Racing, who would love these 400 points here. We'll keep our eye on Nick Kish, because Brad, I believe the 1 and the 12 have taken themselves out. And it's all Salmon in front. And we'll get a verification here on Nick Kish. He could pick up 300 here.
Yeah,
like
you mentioned
Kelly
before.
was running again. Brad, coming to you in turn 2. There's your leader.
And it is okay if you do go in, if you do have an issue on the race course with a crash or a collision, you can restart, but there still could be a penalty from the officials. We will listen in our ear for that. You said Aaron Salmon needed points. He just got 400 of them, Jeff. Bring him home.
Unofficially, here's your winner of Unlimited 2A in Madison. It's Aaron Salmon in the Bucket List Racing, the 440. He'll take those 400. Now, Brad, by my screen here, let's write this down in pencil. Jimmy Shane coming across in second in the home street. Unofficially, J. Michael Kelly in third in the Graham Trucking. And I'm not certain on the status of Nick Kish.
Yeah, I've lost him.
So right now we've got Aaron Salmon in front in the 440. And for our fans along listening, I had the home street coming across in second with J. Michael Kelly in the third position.
We're going to see if maybe we might be able to grab one of our referees today, Eddie Canfouche, see if by chance he might be able to come in here. Eddie, if you can hear us, can you tell us the status of any calls during that heat? We had the tanglement there between the 12 of J. Michael Kelly and the 1 of Jimmy Shane.
There was that bit of an incident there in turn 2 on lap 2, I believe it was, but after reviewing it from several different angles, it looks like the 12 slid out entering the corner, so no call.
Nope. There you go. Eddie, thank you very much for coming in and joining us. And Jeff Ayler, there it is. The way they finished on the water is the way they will finish officially. Your first place goes to Aaron Salmon, second to Jimmy Shane in the home street. J. Michael Kelly will come home in third position. Wow, that was fun. That was some of the best. Well, that was the best racing we've seen so far today, Jeff Ayler. That was deck to deck and bow to bow. That's what it's all about.
That was fun, and I want to get clarification on Nick Kish. We'll see if he come across in the fourth position. But Brad, thank you, Tate Meyer. Nick Kish was in fourth. So first through fourth, Salmon, Shane, Kelly, and Kish. And Brad, I saw him pop in the screen here. Aaron Salmon is with us, our winner of Unlimited 2A. Aaron, congratulations. 400 is 400. Take them any way you can get them.
Oh yeah, happy to take it. Definitely kind of fell into that one, but I'll take the 400 for sure.
How much of the tanglement in front of you did you see from where you were sitting, Aaron? Could you see what happened up in front of you?
I just saw a ton of water, and I saw Mike shooting out into, I don't know, lane 5 or so, so it dipped on the inside, and luckily it stayed clean.
We're taking a look at it here now on the replay, or the officials are, just to take one more look at things. But very, very good racing. We said before it started, Aaron, that you were one of the 4 boats out there that really needed to get points. Boy, you got them. That's got to feel good with 400 more.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to stay out of that trailer spot. Definitely want to be on the front line for that final.
Is the watch party going on up at the boat shop?
As far as I know, they're all up there supporting, so hopefully we can keep doing them proud and try to pull off another win.
You and Taylor are doing an incredible job, and I thought I heard some cheering out in my right side ear, and apparently it was coming from that boat shop. Congratulations, young man. Good job. We'll look for you in the third section. Keep it going.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Brad, I want to tell you how important that 400 was for Aaron Salmon. By my rough math here, Salmon right now has 665 points. Shane has 670. Kelly was 685.
Wow.
The third section for those 3 drivers is going to be crucial to get a good draw and score well to try to get on the front row of the final heat. We will take the top 5 boats in points. They'll go to the final. We'll have 1 trailer in the final for a 6-boat APBA Gold Cup Virtual 2020 final heat. Brad, great job by Kelly and Shane. It got tied up there. They're racers. Obviously, without a doubt, 2 of the cleanest boats I've ever seen finish in the heat after collide with each other.
Yeah, the crew chiefs love it, don't they? Nobody thrashes on Saturday night or Sunday night in this case because the boat's all beat up. Jeff, want to apologize to you there for stepping on you during the interview. I thought you were gone. I thought we'd lost you. So sorry about that. We'll clean that up next time through. Before we hit the water for our Heat 2B, let's take this opportunity one more time to thank some of our sponsors. We mention them often, and it's because they are such a big part of this event. The folks at Jesse's Stitches in Snohomish, Washington. They've been in business there since 1990, and they do custom embroidery and more up in Snohomish, Washington. For those of you outside the state of Washington, that's just north of Seattle, north and to the east just a little bit, and then due east of Seattle. Over on the east side of the state of Washington in the wine country, a leading Northwest producer of high-quality screen-printed and embroidered products since 1998. If you're a boat race fan at all, you know the name. It is Atomic Screen Printing. H1 Unlimited is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association and the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903, and they are headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association, visit www.apba.org. www.apba.org. Jeff, I think we're ready to go here in our Heat 2B.
All right, Brad, and quickly wanted to Wanted to thank Jeremy and Kendall from Super Shine, longtime sponsors of Jerry Hops at GP, and Brad, glad to have them on board. They just love boat racing.
Well, there's a lot of folks there in Madison that do, and we are 2 seconds, one mark. 5 minutes to our Heat 3A. You mentioned the boats that were coming out in Heat 3A and the need for, excuse me, 2B. I'm looking at a wrong sheet here. The boats in 2B and who needs points and just how tight everything is. Jeff, why don't you run them down one more time? This time, apparently, I'll pay attention.
Here's our boats coming out for Heat 2B. The gold and black Goodman Real Estate. The number 91, Jeff Bernard drives out of Kent, Washington. Jeff married to his wife, Christabel. Their daughters, Blakely and Ryland. I'm sure they're interested viewers this afternoon out in Kent, Washington. Next boat out is the number 11 J&D's, driven by Jamie Nielsen out of Gig Harbor, Washington. Jamie, not only a notable hydroplane driver, but Brad, in his college career, dynamite baseball player at Central Washington University. He is in their Hall of Fame there. A career batting average of .399 at Central Washington. He was a draftee of the Kansas City Royals. Our next two boats, you see the orange one. This is the one I like today. This Taylor Evans right here in this orange and black bucket list Miss Rock. Taylor Evans out of Snohomish, Washington. Taylor, of course, the crew chief on the bucket list racing real time, but gets a chance here to drive virtually here at the 2020 APBA Gold Cup. And we're looking for the red, white, and blue. Graham Trucking, American Dream. Corey Peabody drives out of Kent, Washington. Brad Corey is married to his wife, Stacy. Their three children are Riley, Layton, and the youngest of all names is named Race.
Sounds like a good name to me for a member of a boat racing family, and certainly Corey Peabody is exactly that. He and his family, again, in Kent, it's just up the street from me here, so we're almost neighbors. And it's not uncommon to run in to Mr. Peabody when we're out and about town. Coming up on 3 minutes until the start to our Heat 2B. I've got it right this time. Got the right sheet in front of me, and we're looking at Corey Peabody as he comes up the backstretch in that Graham Trucking entry, the patriotic red, white, and blue. Wouldn't it be something if they could pull off a win on the 4th of July weekend in a boat decked out in stars and stripes? That'd be a lot of fun. And I can tell you, nobody would be happier than Corey Peabody. This guy is, and he is a tremendous driver. I know, Jeff, you've watched him many times in the APBA inboard class. This guy's got a 1 liter that is dynamite, and man, can he handle it.
Oh, that one time in Spanaway, that number 5 1 liter of his, It is flat out quick. And Brad, I've got to go back. I'm coming right out of the box virtually in 2020. Sammamish. I got to correct myself. I really did not do well on the pronunciation on that. And Scott Przybylski, the creator of this game, I got to get his name in there. Thank you, Scott, for all you've done. And fans across the United States and the world have really been enjoying virtual racing. And the credit goes out to Scott Przybylski.
It certainly does. And I'm sure you're sitting there in Indiana going, why can't we have some drivers from Seattle and San Diego? But no, we've got Sammamish and Snohomish. And some of those are a little bit of a tongue twister. Coming up on 20 seconds until our 1 minute mark. That is the point at which the boats cannot pass that bright buoy on the right side of your screen. Coming down here to the lower end, we are inside 10 seconds. We are at 6 seconds now, and it looks like Bernard's got himself in lane 1. Keep an eye on Taylor Evans. He is in 2, and it was a clean score up. Everybody was good. Now there's Bernard. He's on the right side of your screen up the backstretch. In lane number 2, it's going to be Taylor Evans driving the bucket list Miss Rock. Then it's going to be Nielsen coming up behind those two boats. He's going to be in lane 3 driving the J&Ds, the U11, and we are 40 seconds until the start. Here comes Corey Peabody on the outside. Again, Jeff, what we're seeing, these guys are having to protect their lane position up the backstretch, and they're having to run so hard. That's what's happening is they're getting up there way early on their timing marks, and we are going to have to do a restart. We had a problem there with the score up in the the software, and the server gave us a little bit of a glitch there, so we're going to have to redo it. It seems like once a week, once every race, we have to do this. It happens from time to time, but we will just go back simply and restart it. The good news, Jeff Ayler, we don't have to put the boats back on the trailer. We don't have to refuel them. We don't even have to get the drivers out of them. We just say, okay, just kidding, go back and do it again.
That happened to you when I was watching the Guntersville race earlier this year for the Southern Cup, not the Drivers Invitational, but the open race with the
Right.
regular E-League drivers. And it was flawless. Once the system came back up, we went right back to the 5-minute period, and we were right back in activity.
And you mentioned Scott Przybylski as being the developer of this particular game and the software. It's not a glitch in that. The glitch is on the server. So yes, I remember when that happened in Guntersville. For a moment there, I was completely frozen. My screen went dark on me, and my great fear was that I was the only one that had the black screen and that everybody else was seeing it, and I didn't know what to say. But from my standpoint, it was a good thing. It worked out for all of us. We reran the heat, and that's what we're going to do here. It's Heat 2B, and we're going to do a restart here with the 11, Jamie Nielsen, the 91, Jeff Bernard, Corey Peabody in the 98, Taylor Evans in the 99.9. We'll see if Bernard can once again sneak his way into lane one, because it looked like he was going to control it as they got to the top end of the race course. You mentioned regatta sponsorship, Jeff Ayler from Madison, Indiana. There are a lot of people there in that town. You know them all pretty much personally, I am sure, but there's a lot of people there that feel very strongly about boat racing. We know they're listening to us today. We hope they are enjoying it. This is the best we can do here. We think it's pretty good. We hope they're enjoying it as well. But from a sponsorship standpoint, we've got a couple other names we'd like to take this opportunity to talk about, and those are the good folks at Millennium Tool Incorporated and Arvin Sango Incorporated. A couple of other companies that have stepped up to help us out here this weekend. I say it all the time, Jeff. Without our sponsors, we don't go boat racing.
Oh, we have to have them, and a great list there. Names I noticed locally: Nucor, Arvin Sango. Arvin Sango, Brad, of course, they're coming on board once again this year for the Vintage 5 to the 5 event here in Madison. We're a go for September 19th and 20th, 2020. The Vintage Hydroplanes will be in Madison for the Madison Vintage Thunder in memory of Gene Johnson. Also, too, Millennium Tool there. And we mentioned Jeremy and Kendall with Super Shine. Great business in Madison, Super Shine, and great sponsors when it comes to hydroplane racing.
Yeah, very good. You love to see the community step up. I think we're inside probably 5 seconds until our 5-minute mark for Heat 2B. 2 seconds, 1 mark. 5 minutes. 5 minutes to our restart of Heat 2B, and it wasn't a restart because of an accident. We still have the same 4 boats: the 11, the 91, the 98, the 99.9. Jeff Ayler, why don't you run through the names of the boats and the drivers?
Boats leaving the pit area here for the restart of the virtual Unlimited 2B here at the Gold Cup in Madison. The black and orange craft, that is the U99.9 Bucket List Miss Rock. Taylor Evans in the cockpit. Taylor had a second place finish back in Unlimited 1A. Next boat, perfect on the weekend, the gold and black Goodman Real Estate. Jeff Bernard out of Kent, Washington in the cockpit. Top qualifier, a Bernard a winner back in Unlimited 1B. Our third boat, the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange, J&D's. Jamie Nielsen, the driver out of Gig Harbor, Washington. Nielsen, a third place finish back in Unlimited 1B. And we're looking for the patriotic colors. There it is. The Graham Trucking American Dream, the red, white, and blue. The number 98, driven by Corey Peabody out of Kent, Washington. Corey had a fourth place finish back in Unlimited Heat 1A. Brad Luce, all 4 up and running here at the virtual APBA Gold Cup in Madison.
So this is the B section of our second set of heats. Second opportunity for these boats to pick up points here during the heat racing. Then we'll put all of the names of the boats, the numbers specifically, into a hat, so to speak. We will draw them out into the third section. That will be the last opportunity to get points. You mentioned it earlier. We'll say it all day long. Debbie Gregory gets credit for that great statement. And you're right. She used to just walk up and down the pit area and go points, 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 points. That's all she cared about, because she understood very, very quickly and easily. Get more points, get in the final, win the race. Jamie Nielsen right there, the U11, the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange, the J&Ds, boat owned by Scott and Shannon Rainey out of Cleellum, Washington. I'll say that one. That's another easy one for you to have to worry about trying to pronounce, Jeff. We've got some doozies out here. And there's the boat you like, Jeff Ayler, and he's going to have to be dealt with before this is done. Taylor Evans in the bucket list, Miss Rock.
Brad, I like him. If there was a pair of mutuals on this one, I'd be putting him across the board. I like him.
210 to the start of our Heat 2B. It's Nielsen, Bernard, Peabody, and Evans. And it's our Heat 2B. It is the 2020 APBA Gold Cup. We are on the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana. Corey Peabody going slowly down the straightaway there. He will get into the corner and he will just come around. We'll see what we've got down at the end of the race course as far as trollers, as our boats set up for the start period. Again, if you've just joined us, you cannot go past the exit buoy of turn 1. It's way down there on the right side of your screen. That large yellow buoy, you cannot go past that buoy before the 1 minute mark. If you do, you'll have to go back again and catch it up and rescore yourself. You see Jeff Bernard camped down there at the lower end of the race course. That's right in front of Corey Peabody. Jeff got it in the first time we came out for the first running of Heat 2B. Bernard got lane 1, Jeff. He's going to try and get it again here in the rerun.
Not surprised, Jeff Bernard, tenacious racer, but boy, up above him, there's Nielsen, and now Bernard looks like he'll have to slide to 2. Brad, we're coming up on this 1 minute pin. Everyone was behind it by my eye. Bernard going up there quickly. Will he cross over, Brad? Call it.
He's going to maybe try and make a move. You see Nielsen behind him there, but I don't think Jeff's got enough room. I don't think he's got enough room to get in front of Nielsen. And it is going to stay. He can't get him now. So now they've got to slow down. Nielsen has got lane 1. You saw him go past the entrance pin. Boy, that was close. I thought maybe Jeff had done it, but I don't think he had enough overlap there. I don't think it was worth risking. But now, because of that run up the backstretch so fast, Jeff Ayler, they have got to scruff off a lot of speed here, because it's 18 seconds until the start. Peabody on the outside might be in the best position of all of them. Bring him down to the start of our Heat 2B, Jeff Ayler.
Everybody a little bit early. Now that throttle will pick up. We're 5 seconds away. Nielsen, Bernard, Evans, and Peabody. Bernard gets on the throttle, and we're racing. In Unlimited 2B, it was a clean start for the officials, and Jeff Bernard laced it in lane number 2 in the Goodman Real Estate. Heading into the west turn number 1 here on the Ohio River. Bernard in front, Taylor Evans in second. Peabody in third. Nielsen trails it. Brad off the turn. It's Mr. Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate.
And if you are new to unlimited hydroplane racing, be it virtual or not, you now understand how important having a good start with clean water, and the most important piece, a lot of boat speed, how important that is to one of these heats of racing. Jeff Bernard checked every one of those boxes. He was on time, good lane position, clean water, and he was flying. He had the field covered. Coming down to you to put one in the book, Jeff.
1 complete, 2 to go. Jeff Bernard looking good out in front on this virtual Ohio River race course. No virtual logs or debris, Brad, I've seen so far today, as Bernard is looking super sharp out front. Taylor Evans remains in second. Jamie Nielsen in third. Corey Peabody in fourth. Brad, we're halfway through it. Bernard looking to keep a perfect record intact here in 2B.
Yeah, a lap and a half in, a lap and a half to go, and he's got a right side rear view mirror that's got a lot of Tennessee orange in it, but I think Taylor Evans is just going to let him go at this point. I don't know that it's worth really getting up there and fighting that hard, plus running down Jeff Bernard. That's going to be a mighty tall order. He's right in front of you, Jeff Ayler.
White flag displayed, 2 down, 1 more to go as we look above the cockpit of Jeff Bernard. That is toward the west. Entering turn number 1. Clean water in there, just a little bit of wake activity now. Tried to get into that smoother water. Jeff Bernard looking for 400 points here in Unlimited 2B. The Goodman Real Estate. Brad, he's heading toward you. Super boat ride.
And it's a super good looking boat. I really like the color scheme on that with the black and the gold. And Jeff is just driving it beautifully. He is at the top end of the race course. Taylor Evans is in second place. Nielsen running right now in third. Peabody is in fourth. Bring our leader down and our apparent winner in Heat 2B, Jeff.
A dash to the finish, checkered flag out. Here's your winner of Unlimited 2B in Madison for the Gold Cup, Jeff Bernard and Goodman Real Estate. Second place will go to Taylor Evans in the Bucket List Miss Rock with the Car Star on the canard. Jamie Nielsen will get third in the J&Ds, crossing the start-finish line, and Corey Peabody in the red, white, and blue Graham Trucking American Dream will come down to finish in the fourth place position. Brad Luce, you mentioned early on, Jeff Bernard missed the Drivers' Invitational last weekend for the Southern Cup. He was in Burley, Idaho, driving in the APBA inboard category. He has practiced all week. So far, he's aced it.
So far, he has looked mighty good, and he's going to be difficult to beat. But there's a lot of drivers that are set to go after him, and there's still a lot of racing yet to come. We've got our whole third section of heats yet to go, but our heat Section 2, both 2A and 2B are in the books. In our most recent heat, 2B, 4 started, 4 finished, and the boats are finding their way back to the pit area. We'll have Mr. Bernard up here momentarily. And we're being told that we may not get Jeff Ayler here. We are going to try and get Bucket List Miss Rock driver Taylor Evans. We'll see if we can get him up here for a word. We spoke to Jeff a little bit earlier, although I was going to ask him about that run down the backstretch before the start and if he toyed with the idea of moving over on Jamie Nielsen. We'll wait. I think we've got Taylor Evans with us now. Taylor, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, bud, Brad Luce here, along with Jeff Ayler. Boy, that Bernard kid knows how to drive that thing. He's handling that boat really well.
Yeah, he's no joke. That Goodman race team, they've got something together there. So he's been practicing. He's going to be the competition this weekend. But like I heard, I think I heard Jeff Ayler say earlier, there's 5 boats that are within a couple mile an hour of each other. So it's there's some stiff competition.
Is it the kind of thing, Taylor, now that after you run a heat like that, and I realize Jeff just nailed the start, you were back a tick or two, but after you've run a heat like that, do you go back and think, all right, to beat this guy, I've got to get inside of him?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of strategy that I'm thinking of when we're going into something like that. I didn't set myself up in a good position there, but came out with what we came out with, so I'm happy with that. But absolutely, I need to get that Bucket List Miss Rock Car Star powered Miss Rock into the right lane if I'm gonna go do something here. But I think that as far as points go and everything else, I think I'm sitting okay to get into this final here.
I think you are indeed, and you mentioned Jeff Ayler. There he is right there. Jeff, take it away.
Taylor, I've got you third right now in points with 680. Of course, Bernard on top with 900. J. Michael Kelly was 685. Your third was 680. Jimmy Shane fourth with 670. Aaron Salmon fifth with 665. Taylor, you're doing a phenomenal job. No pressure, but my handicapping, you're my pick this weekend. If they offered the pari-mutuels down at Emerald Downs in Auburn, I think I could get 8-1 on you. So good luck the rest of the day.
I appreciate it, Jeff. No pressure, and we're glad to have you here.
Oh, gosh. Taylor, it is great to have you on board here. You're doing a terrific job. We're having a lot of fun, and we assume the watch party, everybody's having a good time cheering that Tennessee Orange.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I know Kelly and Sharon are sitting at home having a good time, and I've got a couple of buddies that have been watching this, and I know the whole crew is watching it. And yeah, I mean, what a great way. We have a saying at the Bucket List Shop where we try to get one fan at a time, and I think that what we're doing here today and what we've been doing over the past couple weeks is doing that, is getting one fan at a time, and that's what's most important for the sport.
Absolutely. Congratulations. That's terrific. And oh, by the way, congratulations on the boat up there. Looking at the shots on the web, it really looks cool. You guys have been busy. We just got to find a way to get them out on the water, man. We all want to see them go.
That's right. We want a whole bunch of Tennessee orange on the water when we get a chance. So we'll be ready.
All right. We know you will be. Taylor Evans comes in second place in that 99.9 bucket list Miss Rock, but he'll be ready to go in our third section. Thank you, Taylor. Jeff, it's about time to get ready for our heat draws for Heat 3A and 3B. Before we go to those, let's once again thank Jesse's Stitches, doing the custom embroidery in Snohomish, Washington since 1990, and Atomic Screen Printing in the Tri-Cities, a producer of high-quality screen-printed and embroidered products. They've been in business since 1998. And you mentioned those sponsors from Madison, the good folks at Super Shine, Nucor Tubular Products, Millennium Tool Incorporated, and Arvin Sango Inc. Thanks to everybody who had a part in putting this together today. Without our sponsors, we don't get to race, so we really do thank them. But now it's time for the heat draw for Heat 3A and 3B. Take it away, Scott and Shannon Rainey. They're going to do the honors. They are the owners of the U11, the J&Ds.
Hi, I'm Shannon Rainey.
And I'm Scott Rainey from J&D's U11.
We're here to draw 3A and 3B for the H1 Unlimited Drivers Invitational Virtual Madison APBA Gold Cup. All right, A, U7. B, U98. A, U12. B, 440. A, 99.9. B, 91. A, U1. B, that's us, U11, J&Ds. Good luck, drivers. Have fun. Wish we were there in Madison with everyone. We really miss you. For the recap, Heat A is 7, 90,
12. 99.9.
And 1. And B,
The 98, the 440, the 91, and 11.
good luck.
Thank you, Shannon and Scott Rainey, for our heat draws for Unlimited Heat 3A and 3B for the 2020 Gold Cup race, the virtual version here on the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana. I'm Jeff Ayler. Brad Luce is joining me out in Auburn, Washington. Heat 3A coming up will feature Jimmy Shane, Nick Kish, J. Michael Kelly, and Taylor Evans. Heat 3B will feature drivers Jamie Nielsen, Jeff Bernard, Corey Peabody, and Aaron Salmon.
Wow.
Heat 3A coming up. We do have one boat that is already locked into the final heat regardless of their finish in the third section. That is our top qualifier, Jeff Bernard, in the Goodman Real Estate. Jeff is our top qualifier and has 2 heat wins, a perfect weekend so far with 900 points. So if Bernard would have a unfortunate blemish there in Unlimited 3B, the Goodman Real Estate craft would still transfer to the winner-take-all final heat. The final heat will be a 5-lap final. We will have 5 boats up on the front row with 1 trailer. In Madison, Indiana, for numerous years now, the traditional final heat format is 4 boats up on the front row with 2 trailers. But here for this virtual 2020 Gold Cup, we'll put 5 up on the front row with one trailer. And Brad Luce, I believe you're back with us, and 5 boats going into the west turn and Madison on the front row. Be a little bit exciting, I think, a little bit later. Let's just put it that way.
I think that's a good way to put it. It will indeed be exciting. All right, Jeff Ayler, we are inside 5 minutes. As you like to say, the 5-minute period has begun. First boat away from the dock. Home Street Blue, the Miss Home Street U1, Jimmy Shane. Jimmy resides in Maple Valley, Washington. There you are. You're riding along with Jimmy. And I've noticed each time he's come off of the pit area, Jeff, he's gone straight across the race course, gone over to the backstretch, and then headed up toward that east end of the race course without going down toward the bottom end. That just seems to be his initial procedure when he comes out on the course.
Strategery.
I like that. And there you see the Tennessee orange and the black of the bucket list Miss Rock, driven by Taylor Evans. And we were just talking with Taylor there, and we talked to him about the need to be inside of, say, a Jeff Bernard or a J. Michael Kelly or a Jimmy Shane or any one of these guys to have a realistic chance of winning in that final heat. I'm wondering now if, and he mentioned he was thinking about it, but I'm thinking he's pretty solid in the points here right now. I think you said he was third. I think if he's got a real good move to get the inside lane, I'm not sure I'd play that card right now.
We'll get a correction, Brad. Taylor might have vaulted up to the second position in overall points when you were away from the microphone. Understand back in 2A, J. Michael Kelly, who we thought was in the third position, actually went to the fourth slot, and that put Nick Kish up into the third position. But Bernard is locked into the final regardless. If he'd have a blemish in the next heat coming up, he's on the winner-take-all front row of the final heat. We got 4 drivers and boats, all in that high 600-point range. J. Michael Kelly, Taylor Evans, Jimmy Shane, and Aaron Salmon. They want to score and finish here and keep that tally going so they can get on that front row of the final heat. So still lots at stake here in 3A and 3B. Your best chance to win that Gold Cup is on that front row of the final.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you see Jimmy Shane, just as we got inside 3 minutes, Jimmy was just cruising slowly down that front straightaway, sitting in lane number 1, but a lot can happen. There he is there, and I think cruising is probably an exaggeration of his speed. Stopped might be a better term to use there. And then J. Michael Kelly is right behind him, so we'll watch and see how that plays out. But still 2 minutes and 20 seconds right there, 2:20 until the start, so a lot can happen. Here comes Mr. Kish down the straightaway here, and he will find his way into the fray, and he says, nope, I don't want to play that guy this time around. I'm going to let you guys go. He will go around the course one more time. Looks like Shane and Kelly might get serious about grabbing this inside lane, Jeff.
Shane, as Brad mentioned, in the Home Street Blue and White, trolling on the front chute. Jimmy, 4 actual Gold Cups to his record in 2014, 15, 17, and 19. Gives me an opportunity to say hi to his sons Colton and Hudson. I'm sure they're watching this afternoon. And a shout out to Jimmy's parents over there in Havre de Grace, Maryland, Robin and Stu. Shane, good afternoon to you, watching over in Maryland. J. Michael Kelly next to him, Brad, here in the warm-up period, a one-time Gold Cup winner in 2016. Gives us a chance to say hi to JMK's wife, Angela, and their children, Brennan, Carson, and Asher. But things picking up here before the 1 minute period.
Yeah, watch Taylor on the outside. He's got a lot of boat speed coming up on that 1 minute buoy 2-1 mark. That they say he's clean. That was close.
They said he was clean. Brad, bring him up into turn number 2, set the lane, still stuff to the side.
Yeah, it is Jimmy Shane in the home street. He's going to be in 1. It's J. Michael Kelly in the 12. The Graham Trucking's going to be in 2. It's going to be Taylor Evans in lane number 3. He had the right move. He just didn't have it timed right. He wanted to go flying around Kelly and Shane and jump over to lane 1, but he was going to cross that 1-minute buoy too early. At the speed he was going, he had to pull his foot. He lost his momentum, and now he finds himself out in lane number 3. Inside 35 seconds until the start. Lanes have been established. Jimmy Shane in 1. J. Michael Kelly in 2. Taylor Evans in 3. Kish is going to come up on the outside. Jeff Ayler, it's Heat 3A. Get them started.
Here we come to the line. Kelly got on that throttle first. 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. It appears to be a clean start. We're racing in Unlimited 3A here at the Gold Cup. Nick Kish, a dynamite start on the outside and Spear to Detroit. To his inside, J. Michael Kelly and Graham Trucking. Shane late on the throttle, enters the corner in 4th, now 3rd. Brad off the turn. It's J. Michael Kelly in front with Evans in 2nd. Kish driving a dandy in 3rd, and Shane is back in 4th.
Yeah, Shane he did not have any boat speed. He was on the inside lane, but he didn't have any boat speed, and everybody was able to gobble him up. And then he got in some real sloppy water down there in the lower corner, and he finds himself in last place. But JMK had a beautiful start. Now keep an eye on Jimmy Shane. Watch him, Jeff. He's in 4th, but he's making a move between boats.
Boy, the home street blue is flying. It's all over the virtual race course here in Madison. 1 down, 2 to go. J. Michael Kelly in front. Taylor Evans in 2nd. Nick Kish in 3rd. You see Shane in 4th. Rocking and rolling the home street into turn number 1 to the aerial. Kelly in front. Evans in 2nd. Now Shane moves into 3rd. Kish in 4th. Brad, we're halfway through it. Shane is the one to watch, trying to make up ground from the back.
And boy, is he flying the boat. He's got some clean water now. See if he can really set it up and get going. Running down Taylor Evans is going to be a tall order. He has gotten around on the inside of Nick Kish, but our leader way out in front with a full rooster tail. Bring him down, Jeff. It is J. Michael Kelly driving a 12, the Graham Trucking, looking real strong.
White flag displayed. 2 down, 1 more to go for J. Michael Kelly. Comfortably out in front. Kelly entering the west turn. Looking to get 400 points to transfer to the front row of the Gold Cup final. In the 2nd position, Taylor Evans skipped out of the water there. Evans in 2nd. Shane running out of time in 3rd to move up into 2nd. Kish in 4th. Brad coming to you. It's all JMK.
It is all JMK. The young man out of Bonnie Lake, Washington, has got about a half a lap to go here. Not even that much. He sets up for the upper corner here. He is smelling 400 points. He's got to just negotiate the straightaway and come down to you. Jeff Ayler, grab that checkered flag and wave it for JMK.
It's flying out the judges' stand. Checkered flag to J. Michael Kelly, your winner here in Unlimited 3A at the virtual 2020 Gold Cup. 2nd place will go to Taylor Evans. In the bucket list Miss Rock, Jimmy Shane will get 3rd in the home street blue and white in this home street. Nick Kish, beautiful start out in lane number 4, but will come across in the 4th position. He's still working on the back chute as you see approaching the Milton Madison virtual bridge. We'll keep our eye on Nick, and he will come down and get those 4th place points, which is 169. But Brad, there on the cool-off lap is J. Michael Kelly. 400 big ones. He'll transfer to the final.
He will transfer the final. That is the mission in the preliminary heats. J. Michael Kelly can now check that box and get ready to make a run for the Gold Cup here. Boats are coming back to the pit area. I'll tell you what, Jeff Ayler, you were talking about Jimmy Shane in that heat coming home in 3rd place. I don't think Jimmy Shane has ever worked harder for 225 third-place points. He got back there in a slop, and, man, it was ugly for that young man. He couldn't find any clean water no matter where he went, inside, outside. That was a tough drive for Jimmy Shane.
Some outstanding driving virtually to whittle his way up through the field to get 3rd, and I think that would go ahead and give the award to the guy that could drive a barrel, if you'd put an engine in it and be tough, I think that would go right there.
And of course, Jeff is talking about the famous Fred Alter driving a town club, and it was on that particular body of water, the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana, 1971, when legendary announcer Keith Jackson made that famous comment about Fred Alter. And we've got Jimmy Shane, I think, here in the booth with us. Jimmy, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing?
Well, we're doing great. You got Brad and Jeff Ayler here, and I was just talking to Jeff, and I said, Jimmy Shane just came home in third place, but I'm not sure he's ever worked harder for 225 points in his life. That was a tough one.
Yeah, that's not where I want to be in the final heat. I'm definitely going to try to change my strategy up for the final heat, barring that I make it with enough points. But I think I'm looking okay right now. So I think it's going to be an interesting final heat. There's a lot of different strategies that you can play out here in the Madison course. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and one of the guys that's showing an awful lot of skill and speed at this game is your teammate Jeff Bernard at Goodman Real Estate. Boy, he's having a big day so far.
He is. Jeff's running great. I was able to beat him in a practice heat earlier this week, so there's some hope for the Miss Home Street in the final. So we'll, I think, like I say, it's going to come down to not getting any penalties. Having a really, really good start is going to be key. So it's going to be a barn burner for sure.
Jeff Ayler, you got something for the young man?
Jimmy, nice job. Some artistic driving to whittle your way up to third in this last one, but your strategy going into the final, you won last week at the Southern Cup virtually in Guntersville, and reading the wrap-up from David Campbell here in Madison from the Madison Courier. Your strategy last week was maybe the other guys will make mistakes, not to give anything away going into the final. You going to go with that same approach, or you just going to go full tilt?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that to get in people's heads for this Madison race. That was that was really my strategy, and no, I'm really looking forward to it. We haven't played all of our cards yet, and we really, I think, just need to get a good finish in that heat. So I think a third place should have got us into the final, and just looking to have a good day here for the Miss Home Street. Want to say hi to all the citizens of Madison, Indiana that are tuning in. Sad that we can't be there with you guys this weekend, especially myself and the Miss Home Street team. But we're here to put on a good show. Hope you guys are all watching. Hope you guys are cheering on both of our boats, and let's do it. Let's run another qualifying heat and then get to this final.
And Jimmy, even though it's virtually, I'm sure your two sons are involved with this racing with you online. Hudson and Colton, do they have something to say to Dad before he goes virtual racing?
Oh yeah. They last weekend they were cheering me on like crazy, and they're doing it again this weekend. And I've had them run a few practice laps already on my little simulator setup here. And I'll tell you what, they're gonna be forces to be reckoned with here in a few years. Hopefully in the real boats if we ever get back to real racing. But even if it is just simulator for a bit, they're gonna be in good shape.
Well, good luck in the final, and with the two boys, it's in the blood.
It is. Thanks so much. Thanks to everybody for tuning in.
Thank you, Jimmy Shane, and he will go get ready now for the final. He will be in that final heat. He will be on that front row. We turn the page, Jeff. We turn it over to our Heat 3B, and we will stand by for a countdown here as we wait for that to come in our ears. We'll say thank you again to Jesse Stitches and Atomic Screen Printing. We should be inside 5 seconds now until our 5-minute mark. We are 2 seconds, 1 mark. 5 minutes to our Heat 3B. Jeff Ayler, why don't you give us a rundown?
First boat out, the Gold and Black Goodman Real Estate, the second entry for Miss Madison Incorporated here virtually. Jeff Bernard, the driver out of Kent, Washington. Perfect on the weekend, top qualifier, 2 heat wins. Looking to keep that perfect record for the weekend unblemished here in the third section. Beautiful paint job on this one. Can't wait to see the real Gold and Black U91 in 2021. Here's the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange. Jamie Nielsen driving the J&Ds. Jamie out of Gig Harbor, Washington. Brad, I think Jamie would like to come in here, put some pressure on Bernard, maybe a little practice scenario to get some confidence up to go to the final heat.
Absolutely.
Looking for our third boat on camera is the red, white, and blue U-98 Graham Trucking American Dream. Corey Peabody, the driver. Corey hails out of Kent, Washington. Corey would love nothing better than to get a win here and maybe sneak up to that front row of the winner-take-all final. And our final boat, who had that heat win back in 2A earlier today in the Wild and Wacky 2A, it's Aaron Salmon in the 440. Bucket List Racing. Aaron hails out of Bonnie Lake, Washington. Brad, that heat win for Salmon was a confidence booster. How much do you think he'll mix it up with Bernard and Nielsen here going into the third round?
Well, I think he's going to. I think he wants to let these guys know that, hey, I'm here to play. It's not just that other orange boat. I can handle this one as well. Fans will remember from a week ago in Guntersville, both of those orange boats were on the front row of that final, and it made quite a statement. I think they want to make that statement again today, and we heard Jimmy Shane talking about trying to get into other drivers' heads. While he was saying that, I was thinking about Jeff Bernard, who Jimmy Shane was able to beat in a practice race. And I thought, yeah, Jeff's just getting into your head. So there are a lot of mind games going on. And we can laugh and say this is virtual, but you know these guys, so do I. This is real. They want to win this thing.
Oh, they want to win this virtual Madison, Indiana APBA Gold Cup. You see Bernard right there from our camera angle from the west, pointing toward the east. Jamie Nielsen, you see trolling already in the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange J&Ds. And Bernard, I'm sure he will
he did
creep it right to the left there, Brad, to make Nielsen go to his outside. But 2 minutes until the start, 2 minutes away, lots of time to kill prior to that exit pin off turn number 1, which is the 1 minute pin here on the virtual Madison 2-mile track.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can handle this 1 minute period and this score up buoy. You don't have to go up there and troll. You can, as we saw with the boats in the previous heat with Taylor Evans, you can come down there to the lower corner with a whole bunch of boat speed and hit that 1 minute buoy at full song. Hopefully everybody else is just crawling and you're able to leapfrog and get into lane 1 that way. A lot of different ways to play this out. We will watch it. We are approaching that 1 minute mark now. You see our boat starting to pick up the speed. There's Jeff Bernard. He's out in front with everybody. We're 15 seconds away from the 1 minute gun. Nielsen is sitting in 2 right now. Then it's going to be Salmon in 3, and on the outside is Corey Peabody. Jeff, bring him through that corner.
As you see from above, we are 1 minute. Everyone well behind that 1 minute pin. Now Nielsen popped out there quickly. Bernard countered back. Brad, not enough boat lengths for Nielsen to cross over, but with that accelerated speed of both boats, they're going to be early on their timing runs coming to the line.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the downside of making that strong run to protect your lane, is then you find yourself way early. Jeff is already at that entrance pin to the corner up there. Once he passes that buoy right there, that's when he officially establishes his lane. Nobody can move from there. So Bernard is in 1. Nielsen is in 2. It is Aaron Salmon in the 440 in 3. Corey's going to come down, try and do so with a whole lot of boat speed on the outside. He's the one that's got the most lane space to play with. He'll see if he can use it to his advantage. They're coming down to the start. It's 10 seconds. Jeff Ayler, it's Heat 3B.
Coming down, Bernard hit it first for 3, 2, 1 mark. Bernard slowed there. We'll check the radios. It appears to be a clean start. We're racing an unlimited 3B here at the virtual 2020 Gold Cup in Madison. Bernard had to get off the throttle, ride the line, but he's got the prime real estate in lane number 1. They come off the turn. Nielsen is there. They're side by side. Brad Luce in 3B.
Yeah, the start was definitely legal, so that is your race for the lead, and it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Look at the speed out of Jamie Nielsen as he flies. The 11 gets it way out of the water, but he's able to settle it back down. Had to pull his foot just a little bit, and Bernard was able to make up some ground. Great corner up there in the 91. The Goodman and Jeff Bernard up. blowing over Nielsen. Oh, Nielsen is over, and there is no call to be made on that one. Jeff Bernard's all out in front by himself, Jeff.
Bernard comfortably in front. Nielsen pushed the envelope with the 11. You saw it go over, came right side up. Bernard in front. Salmon in second. Nielsen is running in third. Peabody in fourth. Brad, we're halfway through it. Bernard looking to remain perfect on the weekend in the Goodman Real Estate.
Yeah, tough break for Jamie Nielsen on that one, and a tough break for all the fans and you and I. I think we were looking forward to a real barn burner between those two guys. They had a great one going. Unfortunately, Jamie got the boat up in the air and over it went. But bring down Mr. Bernard, as you said, so far, a perfect weekend. Could it happen for the young man?
White flag displayed, 2 in the books and 1 more to go for Jeff Bernard, comfortably out in front. You see atop the Goodman Real Estate entering the west turn, cranks it to the left, trying to keep it in that smooth water, work that canard, works outside that weight.
Jeff, let me interrupt you here. Aaron Salmon has blown over the Bucket List Racing. He went over as well.
Okay, thank you, Brad.
And Jamie Nielsen has hit and apparently dislodged a buoy. We've got carnage all around the race course here, but right now our boat that is clean is the 91. And Jeff Bernard, he's at the top end of the race course on the third of 3 times around the race course. Bring him home, Jeff Ayler. He's going to get his 400 points.
Checkered flag waving. Here's your winner of Unlimited 3B, Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate. Brad, thank you for the corrections on the track. So following you, I believe Corey Peabody, would he move into the second position?
Salmon's
over again. Or is that the replay?
Corey is in second place.
So unofficially, your winner, clear-cut winner, Unlimited 3B was Jeff Bernard in the Goodman Real Estate. Corey Peabody will get the second position in the Graham Trucking American Dream. Write it down in pencil. Third position to Aaron Salmon, and fourth would go to Jamie Nielsen. And that's unofficial.
Let me jump in here just for a minute because I think we're going to get our referee, Eddie Canfouche, in here to maybe try and straighten out what we saw, didn't see, heard, and made reference to. Eddie, can you hear me?
Yes, I got you loud and clear.
Talk to me. What do we got?
So the first incident was Jamie Nielsen blowing over the 11 coming out of the corner. There was no call there. It just appeared from the different angles that he turned in a bit too much and got into the rooster tail on the exit. Beyond that, he did strike and dislodge a buoy, which pushes him down to fourth, and Aaron Salmon did blow over a couple times in the heat, though he is allowed to reset. So he came across third. Second goes to Corey Peabody.
There you go. Eddie Canfouche, thank you very much for straightening that all out. Jeff, if you got that all figured out and the points involved and associated, all I got out of that was it was a tough heat for Aaron Salmon. That's what I got out of that.
That is awesome. A double blowover for Salmon and still gets 225 points on the resets. Outstanding.
And the boat looks good. I don't see a lot of damage on it. Looks real good coming back to the dock. Kelly and Sharon, you don't have a lot of work to do. I think it's okay. Wow. So now what we do, we've got our final finish order. And we've got a number of people behind the scenes who are quickly adding and subtracting and carrying numbers, and they're better at it than am I. So while they are adding and subtracting and figuring out our top 5 point getters for the day and who will be on the front row of our final, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank some of our sponsors. I'm going to thank the good folks at Jesse's Stitches. They've been on board with us since the very beginning, and we'd really thank them. They do the custom embroidery in Snohomish. They've been doing it since 1990. Atomic Screen Printing, a leading producer in the Northwest of high-quality screen printed and embroidered products. They have been in business and doing their fine work since 1998. Would like to take this opportunity as well to make mention of the fact that the H1 Unlimited organization is a proud club of the American Powerboat Association, which is the national authority for boat racing in the United States. The APBA is a member-driven organization established in 1903 and headquartered in East Point, Michigan. For more information on the American Powerboat Association, head over to www.apba.org. And we talk about sponsors and how we can't race without them. Jeff Ayler, we can't race without the American Powerboat Association and all that they do in sanctioning these races, providing with and helping with insurance and underwriting these events. We don't race without the APBA. And they'd love to have you and anybody listening as a member. Again, it's www.apba.org.
Brad, you're exactly right. A tough year for the APBA, and congratulations to the APBA and the Regatta Committee last weekend in Burley, Idaho, as COVID-19 has raised havoc on practically every sporting event in the United States this year and around the world. And Burley, congratulations. You ran your event. Everything went well. And Brad, one event here on the East Coast that everyone is pointing to coming up in the middle of August, it's the Jago Homes Owensboro, Kentucky Hydro Fair. Inboard hydroplanes will go back to the Ohio River in Owensboro for the first time next month since 1979. That race appears to be a go. And Randy Lentz and his team down in Owensboro doing a great job keeping that event together. And there's a lot of boats and a lot of owners and drivers looking forward to the Owensboro Hydro Fair.
Yep, I've been reading that and following it closely as well. Randy's been working very hard down there. We hope they are able to pull it off. I'd like to continue with our sponsors here a little bit, those specifically from your area, Jeff Ayler from Madison, Indiana. Kendall and Jeremy, the owners of Super Shine right there in town. I know you know those folks, and they have been active participants in the regatta and boat racing for many years. We thank them for their participation. Millennium Tool Incorporated. Good folks there in town. Again, people that have stepped up many, many times to help out with events of this type and sponsoring boats when necessary. It's just good to have the community's involvement. Thank you, Millennium Tool. And Arvin Sango Incorporation. That is incorporated. That is another firm that I have heard of many times. Jeff, I'm sure you know these folks, but I know they've been around for a long time and have been very active in the boat race community. We thank those guys for all of their assistance. We have another sponsor there from Madison, Indiana. It is Nucor Tubular Products. Let's get a word from them right now.
Nucor of Madison hopes you're enjoying the summer season by kicking it off with a little e-racing, hosted on the virtual Madison Regatta race site. Even though the pandemic has caused a change of plans for us, Nucor of Madison has never felt more proud to be a sponsor of the Madison Regatta. We know our outstanding relationship will remain strong for years to come and grow into a lifelong partnership. Visit our website, nucor.com, today for job openings and to become a member of the Nucor team. Have a great holiday weekend and enjoy the virtual races from your friends at Nucor of Madison.
All right. Thank you very much, the good folks at Nucor Tubular Products. Well, Jeff Ayler, we have our final field here ready to go. And our final field is going to include the U1, the Miss Home Street with Jimmy Shane, the U12, Graham Trucking, J. Michael Kelly. Of course, Jeff Bernard had that perfect day so far driving a Goodman Real Estate, the U91. Then those two orange boats are going to find their way in there, the 99.9 and the 440. Taylor Evans and Aaron Salmon are going to be in the final heat. And get this, Jeff Ayler, our trailer boat is the 11 J&Ds, and they are the trailer boat by virtue of having one more point than Corey Peabody and the Graham Trucking American Dream. How about that?
That is amazing. And it's going to be a great final virtually for the 2020 APBA Gold Cup. And Nielsen ekes into the final 1 point better than Corey Peabody. And Brad, I got to make a correction. My supervisor in Owensboro, Kentucky says it's pronounced Jago Homes presents the Owensboro Hydro Fair. I wanted to get that correction in before the end of the day.
And you got it done, Jeff. Nicely done. And good to have those contacts out there that are quick to let us know when we stumble on something. It is very easy to do. So our field is set. Shane, Kelly, Bernard, Evans, Salmon. with Nielsen in the trailer position. I'm ready to go. Jeff, we got to talk about one big change that we're going to see in this final heat from the previous heats, and that is we're going 5 times around instead of 3.
When we've worked the Gold Cup before, Brad, in Detroit, actually seeing them on the water, we go over this scenario each time in Detroit, the times we've worked the Gold Cup. Longest heat of the day coming up. It's a 5-lapper. The virtual course in Madison is the 2-mile version that you saw here last year at the Gold Cup, just west of the Milton-Madison Bridge. 5 boats up on the front row. It's going to be tight in the warm-up period, scoring up for the 1-minute pin. And Brad, the activity coming to you prior to the start to establish your lane, prior to the entrance pin at turn number 2, that could be as wacky as 5 boats going into turn number 1 for the actual final.
Yeah, it certainly could. And you and I have said this many times, as you just said, this 5-minute period and this 1-minute period, it could get, well, as we sometimes say, could get a little messy, because this is a winner-take-all final. We're going 5 times around. We've had 4 boats on the water in each of our preliminary heats. Now we're going to have 6 with 5 of them on the front row. The water has gotten soupy. It's gotten rough. We've seen drivers have issues with it. It's only going to get soupier and rougher right now for this final. Let's get her done. I'm ready to go. And Jeff, I think we're inside 30 seconds to the 5-minute mark. You still like Taylor Evans in this one?
I'm sticking with him. I should have done that with Tacoma yesterday in the Met Mile, and I didn't. So I'm sticking with Taylor.
There you go. And somebody's going to have to knock off Jeff Bernard, because so far nobody's been able to do it. But we're about to find out. Shane, Nielsen, Kelly, Bernard, Evans, Salmon. Inside 10 seconds. Jeff, give it your signature call in 3 seconds. 2, 1, mark. 5 minutes.
The 5-minute period is come and gone for the virtual 2020 APBA Gold Cup. Drivers, crank them up.
There we go. If you waited for it all day, you just got it. And look at this away from the dock. Both of the boats from Madison, Indiana are going to come out and do the same thing, go straight across the course to the backstretch, and so is Taylor Evans. He says, I can play this game too, but this is going to be fun to watch Bernard and Shane here. And let's see if Shane wants to stay with Jeff throughout this 5-minute period, or if the fact that he's on the outside, see if he doesn't say, you can have it, I'm going to jump over to the backstretch and get away from him.
So Brad loose, 4:15 until the start. We see Bernard and Shane, teammates from the Madison camp. They elect to go through turn number 1 right now on power. Behind them, that is Taylor Evans in the bucket list Miss Rock. 5 boats will start up on the front row with 1 trailer. The trailer will be Jamie Nielsen in the J&Ds. There's Taylor Evans right now, Brad, on the back straightaway, approaching turn number 2 here in Madison. Coming up on 3 minutes and 35 seconds until the start, 3:35 away.
3:35 away from the oldest active motorsports trophy in the world. I love to say that, Jeff. We've had so much fun with it. That is really something special about H1 Unlimited Racing, that we get to watch these boats compete every year for a trophy that has that type of a legacy attached to it. That's what they're going after. There's Aaron Salmon driving a 440 Bucket List Racing. Got 6 boats on the water. 2 of them are colored Tennessee orange. Here comes Jamie Nielsen. Looking at him going slowly down the straightaway there. Jamie's going to have to start behind the field. He is the 6th boat. The first 5 will be on the front row. Jamie electing to go out, winning that position by 1 point over Corey Peabody, who would love to be out there. Jamie running up the backstretch. Now the fun's going to begin here. Who is that? Is that J. Michael Kelly in 2nd place there? Did he just pull in behind Bernard? See if we can get a look here at who is who.
There's Taylor Evans up there, and you see a wake up in front of him. We'll see who that is. Oh, he's just going to have to come back around. That's too early.
Yep. Look at Jeff. Look at Jeff. Jeff just pulled right in front of JMK. Those are the two boats there. Jeff Bernard on the left, J. Michael Kelly behind him. Now Kelly's going to start to move a little bit. Still got quite a bit of time here until our start. And keep an eye on that powder blue boat that's behind everybody. He's watching this action in front of him. We said it might get a little bit messy here, Jeff Ayler. This is where it's going to happen.
Yeah, Brad, I was just getting ready to mention that. Thank you, Tate Meyer. Remember that maneuver earlier today, Brad, that JMK did? He's doing it once again.
Yep.
He's coming through the infield, Kentucky to Indiana. He's approaching the west turn. Can he pull the trick once again here in the final?
Got about 15 seconds to kill before that 1 minute mark. Going to come down the front straightaway here very slowly. You're riding on board with J. Michael Kelly in the U12, the Graham Trucking. And now he's going to start picking it up. I thought he was going to start picking it up inside 30 seconds. Coming up on 20 seconds.
Now they're still right there on that front chute, right by the entrance into turn number 1. Bernard in 1. Now here comes that's Salmon. Will he make a move, Brad? Nope.
Bring him through the corner, Jeff. We're 6 seconds to the 1.
2, 1. Mark, I believe everyone was legal. Will Salmon come over in the Tennessee Orange?
Yes, Aaron Salmon has jumped the 1 minute buoy. He's out of it. Aaron Salmon is a lap down. Now up the backstretch. There's a lot of water getting thrown up in the air, and boats are looking for position out there. That was Taylor Evans, I believe, who was trying to stick his nose up with the leaders and see if he couldn't carve out a lane up there, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't get his nose in there, so he had to go out to lane number 4. But my goodness, Jeff Ayler, look how early they are. We're still 40 seconds until the start. These guys are just crawling. Now we come up inside 30. We're down to inside 25, down to 15 seconds now, Jeff. It's going to be a slow start. Could somebody come on the outside, Jeff?
Bernard in 1, Shane in 2, Kelly in 3, Evans in 4, Salmon on the outside. A minute penalty. Evans gets on that throttle. Mark, it is a clean start. We're racing in the virtual 2020 APBA Gold Cup in Madison, Indiana. Jimmy Shane leads the field down in turn number 1 and lane number 2 in the home street. Jeff Bernard. Oh, and Bernard went through the wake of the home street. Shane exits in front. Bernard recovers in second. Evans in third. Brad, they're coming to you. Shane looking for a virtual Gold Cup.
Up the backstretch on the first of 5 times around the race course. Bernard got in trouble down in that lower corner. He was a little bit tardy at the start, and Shane held him in tight, but Jeff was able to save it. Now watch this corner at the top end. Bernard's closing back up on him. He's into him about 2 boat lengths back. This is going to be dead even off the corner, Jeff. Bring him down to complete lap number 1.
We'll come down to complete lap number 1 of 5. Bernard making up ground on the inside. Shane has to drive him clean in turn number 1. Winner take all final here for the virtual APBA Gold Cup in Madison. Shane in front, Bernard in second. We go above, and Bernard in the tail once again. He about went over. Shane now comfortably out in front as Bernard now slides back to third. Taylor Evans in second.
Flying down the front straightaway here. We may have had an incident back up at the top end of the race course, but Jimmy Shane, as you said, is your leader. He is now on the second of 5 times around the race course. Jimmy Shane. Bernard just is having a terrible time in that lower corner, Jeff.
We will come down to complete lap number 2 of 5 here in the virtual Gold Cup. Jimmy Shane in front. Taylor Evans not giving up in second. You see the orange and black bucket list Miss Rock. Bernard is recovered to run in third. The top 3 entering turn number 1. Shane at the apex in front. Evans going through some rough water. Bernard still got a charge in third. Brad loose. We're halfway through the virtual 2020 APBA Gold Cup. Jimmy Shane, 2.5 laps to go to victory.
2.5 laps to victory, but he better keep his eye on Taylor Evans. His radio man is telling him he's coming, and look at Bernard. Bernard was in third place, but he now pulls up alongside Taylor Evans here, and look for Bernard to be in second place when they come out of the corner here. Great racing back for second place, but your leader is Jimmy Shane.
3 laps complete, 2 to go for Jimmy Shane in front in the U1 Miss Home Street. Driving for the fans of Madison, Indiana, the virtual Gold Cup. Now Bernard has moved back into second in the Goodman Real Estate, and it looked like Evans was wild, and he swung way outside in turn number 1 in third. 3.5 in, 1.5 to go. Shane in front, Bernard flying in second.
Boy, wouldn't this be a finish if the two boats from Madison, Indiana could finish 1-2 in the 2020 APBA Gold Cup in Madison, Indiana. But there's still a lap to go. Keep your eye on our leader, Jeff Ayler. It is Jimmy Shane. He's got the white flag and 1 to go.
White flag displayed, 4 complete, 1 to go for Jimmy Shane. Out in front in the home street, blue and white, Miss Home Street. Working into turn number 1. Jeff Bernard moved into second. There's Jeff in the Goodman Real Estate. Taylor Evans has dropped back some now in third in the Bucket List Miss Rock. Half a lap to go. Brad, Shane in front, trying to keep it together.
Trying to keep it together and also trying to prove that Guntersville was no fluke. He came from behind to win that one in the final, and there was an accident out front of him that afforded him a first-place finish. He wanted to show he's got the speed to beat everybody. So far, it looks like he's got it. Could be our Gold Cup winner. Bring him home, Jeff Ayler.
We go on board looking for the checkered flag. Here's your winner of the 2020 virtual APBA Gold Cup in Madison, Indiana, Jimmy Shane in this home street. Second place will go to Jimmy's teammate, Jeff Bernard, in the U91 Goodman Real Estate. A great run for Taylor Evans. Hits the podium in third in the Bucket List Miss Rock. Fourth position will go to J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking. Crossing the line in fourth, Aaron Salmon will come across in fifth in the 440. Sixth position, in the Bucket List Racing. Here's your fifth place boat, Jamie Nielsen in the number 11 J&Ds, and Aaron Salmon will get the sixth position in the 440 Bucket List. Travis Johnson, thank you, Brad. I forgot about the 1 minute penalty on Salmon at the 1 minute mark prior to the start, but Jimmy Shane is your virtual 2020 APBA Gold Cup champion.
How about that? Jimmy Shane, I said it down in Guntersville. I'll say it again as he comes home, the 2020 APBA Gold Cup champion, winning in front of the hometown fans here in Madison. Is there anything this guy can't drive? He was obviously very successful in the inboard classes of boats as he was growing up. He moved on to H1 Unlimited hydroplane racing. He has been a dominant figure on the scene since he got involved with H1 Unlimited. And we put a virtual race course and a virtual boat in his hands and in his controls. He's 2 for 2. You can't do any better than that. This guy is something special, Jeff.
I'll tell you what, Brad, Jimmy Shane, even though it was virtual, that was some dynamite driving there in that final heat. Jeff Bernard had a great weekend, but will finish second. And Taylor Evans, who generally is the chief wrench on one of these gigantic hydroplanes, driving virtually, finishes third. Brad, I thought he just done a phenomenal job.
He did. He just did a great job all weekend. Look at Jimmy here. He's doing what he likes to do in Madison, Indiana, which is not come right back to the pit area. He wants to instead drive close to the shoreline, wave and interact with the fans. It's just what he likes to do. And I think we've got Jimmy in the broadcast booth with us. Jimmy, can you hear me? Woohoo! There we go. There we go. And you know what? I just got to say it. This is not something you're just making up. You get excited about this, don't you?
Oh man, I'm pumped up right now. That was one of the hardest races I've ever driven in.
Well, and through that first lap, I mean, wow, you had Bernard right there in your left side rearview mirror, and you were going to give him a lane, but you weren't going to give him any more.
Well, I just knew how hard it was going to be with Jeff inside of me, and I wanted a good showing for both the Madison boats, but I also obviously wanted to try to win the race. And it came down to that start, and I had my timing right on it, and fortunately I was able to beat Jeff and the rest of the boats down to turn 1, not jump the gun, and that's really what it takes in this race. Any race, for that matter. Once you get out front, you can control the race course. So I was able to hold Jeff tight. I left him just a lane through that corner. I think he had a hard time getting through there, but I was obviously going for the win.
That's what you got to do. I asked you a week ago in Guntersville. I said, how hard is this boat really to drive? Because you really got to balance a lot of things. And your comment back was, you kind of chuckled and said, this is a whole lot harder than driving a real boat. You still feel the same way?
It is. I mean, it honestly took me until the final heat to get a good start. I jumped the gun. I was probably 3 seconds late on one of the qualifying heat starts. And finally, I was able to get it figured out at the right time for the final heat. And it all worked out for the Miss Home Street.
Well, congratulations on a terrific win. The two boats from the city of Madison, Indiana, come home 1-2. Doesn't get much better than that. Jeff Ayler, I know you'd like to talk to the young man.
Well, Jimmy, congratulations. It's great talking to you from inside the virtual cockpit of the home street as you're on your cool-off lap. And this is difficult to do. And my question to you, congratulations again on the win, but being a real hydroplane driver and compared to this game, which is dynamite, can a driver maybe develop bad habits driving the game too much and going back to the real boat?
You know what? I think we're going to find out that in 2021. That's going to be very interesting. At the same time, you know, you look at the history of this sim racing, and there's been some pretty notable figures. Max Verstappen actually got his Red Bull ride in F1 because of, you know, how good he was at the simulator racing. So there's a story to be told here with this racing, and if somebody wants to get involved very, very inexpensively into any type of racing, this is a great way to do it through simulators. I'm going to go over here to the Kentucky side and give Kentucky some love and wave to those fans. Can't forget about these guys.
You bring up a good point. I think William Byron, that drives for Rick Hendrick in the NASCAR circuit, came up through virtual racing. As we see you cruising along the Trimble County, Kentucky shoreline on the virtual Ohio River. And Jimmy, enjoy your cool-off lap. Again, congratulations. It's always great visiting with you. And with this COVID-19 pandemic that's hit the world, we had some fun here this afternoon. But I can tell in your voice, this is one you'll kind of kick back later this evening and think, that was tough, and it was an honor to win.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you get to race one of these unlimited hydroplanes, it's an honor. Obviously a lot different this year, but at the same time, just as rewarding. And you know, it had a little. It's interesting. You have incidents here, and you can kind of respawn the boat, so the crew gets a little bit of a break in this type of a racing. But they did a great job after heat. Either heat, I had the wreck in there. I'm pretty sure would have lost tail feathers and cowlings, and you know, Mike kind of went over the top of us in that heat, and the crew did a great job getting the boat back together in this virtual racing. And just an honor to be part of this, honor to represent citizens of Madison, Indiana, honor to represent Home Street Bank, and just great to be talking to you and Brad here in the winner's circle again.
Can't say it much better than that, Jimmy Shane. Thank you. Go bring that boat back to the pit area and go interact with the fans.
I'm going to go say hi to my two boys here in the pits in Madison, Indiana, Colton and Hudson, and go give them some love.
There you go. Jimmy Shane, the winner of the 2020 Drivers Invitational APBA Gold Cup from Madison, Indiana. Congratulations to Jimmy Shane and the Miss Home Street. Jeff Ayler, you got some closing comments on the racing today. It's the first time you climbed into the broadcast booth. What were your thoughts on the full day of racing?
Well, Brad, is always great working with you. You're the best, and always will be the best. And I just want to thank Scott Frisbilski that come up with this game. It's been a lot of fun for not only real actual hydroplane drivers, but people with great gaming skills like Travis Johnson sitting next here to me. And Travis, thank you once again for having me out to help here this afternoon, because the connection on Rikers Ridge was not that good with the laptop, Brad. But Tate Meyer, Jared Meyer, they're doing a great job with this. And kudos goes out to Brad, to Shannon Rainey, Scott Rainey, Emily Rainey, Kellen. That family has worked real hard on this as well. And there's 3 more events, I believe, to go in this Drivers Invitational Series through H1 with Tri-City, Seattle, and San Diego. And two are in the books and three more to go. And it was fun this afternoon. And like I said, Brad, it's always fun to work with you because it's just like peas and carrots, isn't it?
Well, I can tell you it was an honor to work with you again, and we'll have the Mutual Admiration Society here. But I said it off air to some of the folks here, and I'll say it on air this time, that when we first got started today, we took a break during the heat draws, and I walked out and commented to somebody here in my house, boy, it's good to hear Jeff Ayler in my ear again. Great job today, Jeff. It was a lot of fun. I can guarantee you, you're going to get a call here very soon, and we're going to get you to sign up for Tri-Cities. But for now, thank you, my friend. It was indeed an honor, and you were, as always, spectacular. Want to take... Your high point standings are on the screen right there. You'll see the driver high points on the right. You can see the national boat high points on the left. Look at that. The 99.9 bucket list Miss Rock sitting on top with 2,705 points. Jimmy Shane, the Miss Home Street, clicking at his heels at 25.59 and on down from there. Interesting. I would not have guessed that Taylor Evans would have been atop that list, but there he is, Jeff.
He's right on top, and he'll look to the virtual Columbia Cup in Tri-Cities, and you'll definitely be in Kona Radio turn number 1 virtually, correct?
Absolutely. I've been in contact with him. We're going to make it happen.
Well, I'll see if I can get a contract for Buffalo Brothers turn 2. I'll say it turn 2.
There you go. Jeff Ayler, thank you very much. I want to take this opportunity to once again thank our sponsors who make all of this possible. We've talked about them all day, but one more time through. Jesse's Stitches, who does that embroidery up in Snohomish and has been doing it since 1990, 20 years. Congratulations, Jesse's Stitches. Atomic Screen Printing since 1998 in the Tri-Cities, a leading Northwest producer of high-quality screen printing. Also, the folks and sponsors out of Madison, Indiana, the good folks at Super Shine, Nucor Tubular Products, Millennium Tool Incorporated, and Arvin Sango. Thank you to all our sponsors. Can't do it without the American Powerboat Association. Thank you to them for everything as well. I will echo the sentiment of Jeff Ayler and thank our producer engineers today, Jared and Tate Meyer, for all they do, not only for this broadcast, but what they do for the sport, and to Scott and Shannon Rainey and Emily and the entire family for all they do for H1 Unlimited Racing. Our next E-League race is next Saturday. Now that's different than this one. That will be the gamers. That will not be the H1 driver. So that's the E-League versus what we did today, which was the Drivers Invitational. And that's going to happen next Saturday. We'll have the E-League racers on the water. And then Saturday, July 25th from the Tri-Cities, Washington, we will have our next Drivers Invitational Regatta. I know I will be there. So will Jeff Ayler. We hope you will be too. Until then, stay safe. Good night, everybody.